Hello, hello. Oh, I knew that I knew there was something wrong with the way the head of this thing was. Hello, 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 hello. Beautiful people. Okay, let me not lie for you. I'm in pain. As I'm talking to you and wind is entering my mouth, it is so painful. But you know what? Welcome to the Bungle Screening Show! Yay! Yeah, just to annoy Ron. If I don't do it, it will be very weird, won't it? Just annoy him. Uh, happy Tuesday to you guys. Honestly, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, it's been a long holiday, and which I'm grateful for in a way, but which I'm sort of glad to see the back of because I've been doing rehearsals in the house for our play that is coming up. But you know, when you're rehearsing by yourself and you're not rehearsing with people, after some time you'll be like, I beg, I gotta go sleep. Nah, holiday I get, I don't keep person. You know, I was like, oh, I'm just going to go and sleep, that kind of thing. And then our new, the college that I applied for, that I got into for acting, we started our first class yesterday. I almost didn't make that class because financial issues, but it was really, really good. It was so, I mean, that first class already, I was like, okay, I am learning about acting. This is not my this is not my stuffs. This is real acting stuffs. um so that was very interesting. Most of my holiday was spent just trying to rejuvenate. And then, ooh, I'm sure y'all saw it. Anyone who's on my page, both Instagram and Facebook, I was trying to put it on my Twitter, but I was just like, I beg, I'll do it some other time. Um, I don't know what's gotten into my eye, so forgive me that I keep rubbing my eye. So I won a competition with Andrew Wood Photography to take some beautiful very nice pictures, like just showing like nice things. And I looked for the ones that the children of Facebook and Instagram will not come and drag me and be like, hey, you see, until women are naked before they will hear that this one, that one, they're looking for clouds, they're looking for this, they're looking for that. Because to be honest, most of the pictures are for my eyes only, and also maybe, well, for the eyes of my lover when I get one. So those pictures, but honestly, those photos are, and they're untouched. That's the thing that was blowing my mind. Like, they were untouched, nothing. As they took me, that's how the pictures were. I was like, one day I'll be able to show my grandchildren. I'll be like, look, your grandmother was hot. She was a hot babe. So please respect your sex. I'm looking forward to being that kind of grandma who'll be like, excuse you, you think you know fashion? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Where do I start with you? It's just that, I'm sure those days are coming by God's grace. So I did that, and that was very, very good. It really boosted my self confidence. It boost. I mean, you know me, I have self confidence for days, but once in a while, this self confidence they deep. It's like, eesh. But it was nice to have that. So I had that for during the holidays, just having that experience, and sitting in a room, and they do like a cinema. So you get popcorn, you get your pictures being flashed across, and it was magical. And I went with my best friend Pam, and we just had a great time. We're just like, ooh, ooh. So yeah, that's what I did. I didn't do my assignments. Hi. I don't know. I'm such a procrastinator. It's horrible. If I have someone on my back, I'll get things done. If nobody is bugging me, if they leave me to do it in my own time, I'm never doing it. I don't even know how I managed to pass through university. But sure, they were sort of on our backs. So, anyways, what are we talking about today? I'm hoping that Ron is ready to join me at some point. But what are we talking about today? We're talking about 40 being the new 20. And I'm a testament because a lot of people can't guess my age. A lot of people think I'm much younger than I am. And maybe because I'm a child at heart, I always joke, I always mess about. But and then this my short hair didn't help. Somebody was speaking to me like I was at the bottom of their shoe recently, like, just a couple of days ago. Like, come on, be respectful. And the person that is telling me to be respectful is my junior. I was like, sorry, Mao. I mean, I just moved back. But the person they were telling me to be respectful to knows me. So she turned around like, no, you go first. It was hilarious. It was funny. It's all right. I don't care. Age is nothing but a number, and I don't carry age on my head, as we say in Yoruba. I don't carry head on my age on my head like Ala Joshua. I don't care. So if you want to insult me, insult me. Oh, anything you want to use your mouth and say. I don't care. You know, I will let other people correct you instead of me correcting you. I will let time and tide correct you. That the person you're talking to anyhow is actually not as young as you think she is. Anyways. But it's nice, it's nice. So, anyways, we're talking about we're talking about 40 being the new 20. And you can see it around, you can see it everywhere. Like everybody is so conscious of their body shape, everybody's so conscious of their health. And I think with social media and everything, it's made it more like people to be a bit more aware of what's going on in their bodies, what's going on with their bodies. So people are really, really taking care of themselves. I mean, when you look at someone like Denzel, he's ageless. You can't even tell what age the man is. You see some people, and when they're telling you that, like they were talking about, although some people, it doesn't really work out for some people because like there was an actress, I'm not going to mention her name so I don't embarrass her. There was an actress that was actually, oh, happy 40th, and everyone was like, she's 40? We thought she was older. Like, honestly, I thought she was older. I know that she's 40. Ooh, wow, time didn't groove. Like, and she's beautiful, but I don't know what it is. She comes across as older. You know who is showing up, right? You know, right? Unbelievable. You see, I'm not supposed to talk to you at all. You know why I'm not supposed to talk to you at all? The last time I spoke to you was last Tuesday. Excuse you. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you right now? He's ignoring me. Nobody can even hear what you're saying. Nobody can hear what you're saying. Anyways, the our producer DJ Wiki Wiki, let me break it down. Is in the house. Has
Can
already
you hear
given
me
himself.
now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to say that it's been the whole week was just
Yes, I
was
saw.
just hectic.
I saw on the occasional times I went on because I wasn't on social media that much, but I saw on the occasional times when I was on social media, you were you were horse riding, bicycle riding, boat riding, every kind of riding. You were riding.
That wasn't this weekend. That was the previous one, not this one.
Oh, it wasn't even this
I
weekend. It was last
don't
weekend. So pray
know
tell, what
the-
did you do this weekend?
Well, this weekend was more or less work, work, work. Um Then I decided to try myself by switching from mountain biking to road biking. So like
You see,
I just
when a
wanted
rich
to.
man's belly is full, he will start to look for things to bust it. So he changed
Oh,
from one kind of
you
biking
know,
to another one.
when you get to a certain age, it has nothing to do with wealth. It has to do with health. You just have to keep the cardio going. Poo, 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 poo. So, uh, in fact, today was the first time I had the bicycle. It was just in the garage. I just did not want to even go near it. So today I just said, let me just, nobody's watching. Let me
He
just
even has a
play because it's
garage.
a
I
different
don't
type of
have a
bicycle.
garage.
I
I
know,
just
but
want
I'm
to
saying in a flat. It's just so happened that the flat has a garage. There's nothing big about it.
I
So,
just want to
so, so you know that there are two different types of bicycles. So I said, let me just get familiarized with it so that I don't go and embarrass myself when I join the group. When I came back today, it was as if they used hammer, everything to beat me. I just fell on my bed. I slept for 4 hours.
You see how you felt? You see how you felt when you came back? That is how I feel
Oh,
every time.
I
So
know,
when
I
I'm
know.
telling you that I'm exhausted, you're wondering what did I do? That's what the illness, that's how it makes me feel every time. That's like somebody has
Mm.
beaten me up and my body, that's how I, and in spite of feeling like that, I get up, I push. So when sometimes they're telling me do this,
Yeah.
I'm like, just leave me alone. I can't, just leave me alone. And I'm not being
If I,
nasty or rude.
when my wife woke me up and said I have to go and pick up other daughter, I was like, I wanted to shout, will you close it? No, let me sleep. But I just remember I just have to go. I have to. So I had
Uh-huh.
to pick myself up, drag myself to the
Exactly.
car.
That is
As soon
exactly
as I
what I
sat on
do
the seat,
every day. Every day. That's what I do. So when you tell me to do something, sometimes I'm like, I beg, just leave me alone. You have to understand that at that point, my body is like, nope. And I don't, the crazy thing is, I don't have to do anything to get to that point of exhaustion. That's just the illness. And that's the frustrating thing for me because at least you did something productive that made you that exhausted. All I have to do sometimes is get up from my bed and go to the bathroom. By the time I'm in the bathroom, I'm like, and you wonder what I just did. I just got up. I sometimes I go to sleep and I wake up more exhausted than I slept off.
mm,
So that's what I'm trying to explain to you that that way you felt, keep that memory and remember that that's my reality for 24/7 all the time. And yet I push through, I come and sit down here, do the show, I go to college, I do it, because the only other option is to lie down and become a vegetable. And I'm not interested in
yeah.
that.
In fact, it's part of. As I just said, I have to kick out of my lazy routine and start being physically active. And I saw the result of it. Was it last year? So I just said this year I'm going back to it. No more.
Mhm.
I'm going to try and keep it going, keep it moving. Whether I like it or not, I just have to keep it moving.
That's nice. I wish well, I mean my classes are enough activity for me. I can't do any more than that. I beg. If I
Ah,
do more than that, I'll
you're the
just I'll
one.
just
You're
pull
the
out.
one lumping. You're the one lumping activities for yourself now. Say the schools were there minding their businesses. You were the one who
No,
decided
but
that
if I
I want to
don't
do
if
this.
I don't do that, then all I'm going to do is be a vegetable sitting at home. Because those are the only activities that get me out of my house. That I don't do
Well,
anything.
okay, okay, yeah, okay. For exercise purposes, fine. But after the school, what will you do
I'll keep going
when
to school.
you're
No,
done?
but by after the school, hopefully I'll be getting work on telly, on stage. So then I'll be going for rehearsals with those ones. So
No,
I'll
I was thinking more of when you finish, maybe you should join all these drama society or something. Like just keep the activity going.
well, the thing is that they are going to get agents in to pick up
Mm.
pick you know uh, uh, And I'm determined that an agent will look at me and be like, yeah, I want this one. And once an
Yeah,
agent gets to,
but you're in the
huh?
UK now. I know that every locality they always have this local drama society, drama society, drama
To be honest, I'm not
club.
really keen on
It's
stage
almost
acting.
kind of
I'm
like
not.
that.
I'm
Isn't
not
it?
learning. I'm not learning my acting for stage. If I mean, I'm learning stage acting again because remember I did my first degree in all of that. So I already know stage African style and I'm learning stage British style. But what I'm learning is not really for stage. I'm learning for TV and film.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
my goal.
I
Uh-huh.
get that. I
So
also understand that. I also understand that when agents go out looking, you should just praise what they are looking for. They find, For instance, it's not about they can just want somebody that looks like Abby exactly, whether or not Abby wants to play. Like, okay, you fit the character, come in. And the good thing with TV and film is that they are more tolerant than stage in the sense that they can do more takes for you, right?
yeah.
Than stage. So even if you're not meeting up that first instance, just because you still fit what they are looking for, they are willing to tolerate and
But
allow
darling,
it to go
I
on
am
for
a professional. I am not one of those. I am known as Abby One Take. I don't need several takes. I just need the one take. So please be respectful when you speak about someone in theater.
the thespian in the making.
It's
the,
like,
the
what is your
thespian
dream
in the
job,
making.
darling? I do not dream of labor.
The
Okay,
thespian
so
in the making.
it's not in the making. Oh, this is a thespian. I am for the floorboards and for the bright lights, darling.
Abi
Oh,
Adawala.
the thing I'm terrible at is I'm terrible with copsing. Like when someone says something that comes at me sideways, it I try not to laugh, but you can see my face is like. And unfortunately, every time I've been told your face is so expressive, it tells us what you're thinking before you even open your mouth. So sometimes I, I'm trying to change my face to the script, but my face is going. Anyways, so today's
Where are
topic.
all these our girls?
I
Where
don't
are our
know,
girls?
they've abandoned us, oh, they've abandoned us. Love don't live here anymore. Maybe you tag them now. I know Candy most likely
Yeah,
she
no,
will join us at some point. Where is Abby? Where is Bumi?
you
Where is
chose not
Coyote?
to tag them.
Coyote is trying to jump ship. And I'm waiting for him to come here. He's trying to jump ship and leave us. Can you
He's not
imagine?
coming. I don't think he'll come.
Hey!
I don't think he'll
Imagine,
come.
oh, see life. This pot of beans life. He's going to another show. I saw the what do they call it? The expo today. I was like, no wonder. He has been winning himself off the show because he's going to another show. Human beings. Human beings have nika.
No, 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 no. Let's not do Judas Iscariot with him because
He's a
to be
Judas
fair,
the
he's been
carrot.
with us since last year.
He's a
No,
Judas the
he's been with
carrot.
us since last year. He's been with us since last
Imagine.
year, so you have
This
to
is
consider.
stabbing in the back, the front, the up, the down. He stabbed me. He stabbed me. I
No,
can't
but
believe this.
he's been around since last year now. He's been around.
Eh, haven't you been around
He's,
since last
he-
year? Haven't Candy been around since last year? Just
no,
jump ship like that.
no, no, no. My own case is different. My own
Mm.
case is different. I'm more or less the engine room. You see, Do you know I'm the only one who has appeared on all episodes complete without missing one? And you will
See,
get the show, you missed three.
excuse me. Since the beginning of Mangalo croonings or every croonings, I've been on more episodes than you. So
That
calm
doesn't
down.
count now. I wasn't there. That doesn't count. I wasn't there. I
You
wasn't
had
count.
the
So you see how
opportunity.
important it is. You see how
I'm,
important it is.
I'm sorry, I need to
That
take
I just
because
want
this
to.
is forgive me.
Oh, okay.
I'm carrying you. You don't understand the kind of pain I'm
Yeah.
in.
Okay. So
God help me.
okay. So the topic today is 40 is the new 20, right? That's what we're discussing
Yeah.
today.
And honestly, if you see Kayode is Kayode is talking.
You
What are
sent
you
me
saying?
messages.
Judas! Judas the carrots! He's sending me a video clip of me and you talking. Judas! So we're talking about like how people look a lot younger than their ages these days, and it's like sometimes it's quite frightening when you see some people and they tell you their age and you're like, it's a lie. There's no way you are that age. You obviously are younger than that, and they're like, no, that's my age. And honestly, it's scary in some ways because you know it's good and yet it's scary, and I'll tell you why it's good because it means that people are taking care of themselves. They're being aware of what they put into their bodies, they're being aware of what they put on their bodies, being aware of what they do with their bodies, so that's good. But what's scary is, sometimes you, like me, I admit when it comes to men, I am ageist. I am very ageist. Like I do not want to be with an older man. I don't even want a man who is 1 year or 2 years older than me. I beg, just day your day. I prefer younger men. I'm a cougar for life. Yes, cougar for life. But these days, these
How
older
do we hear
men be
of this?
out here. Let us also here. These days, these older men be out here looking young, and then they deceive people like me. So I'm thinking, oh, I'm here with some cool guy, like some young pop. And next thing, he's older than me or my age. Ah,
Jesus
I don't want.
Christ is Lord.
So
But
you think
also,
you you think you've
yeah,
broken
what?
the cradle, but you usually think you've broken the cradle. Then it turns out that you played yourself.
In fact, you'll be like, I thought you were younger. Oh no, I'm the same age as you. Oh damn, exactly. Like, damn it! You're supposed to be younger. Why are you looking this young? I remember there was a guy that I actually dated this guy. I dated him. In fact, oh my god! If the day I found out that he was older than me, I was so mad because okay, so I thought I was older than him, yeah. And honestly, this guy looks super young, and then he's on the high functioning side of autism, and he's also very very, very young at heart and that kind of thing. So I was there thinking, yeah, I got this young pop, that kind of thing, and he'll come over to my house, I'll take care of him, I'll cook, I'll do everything, like, this my young pop, everything. I don't know what happened. I need to, you just balance. Why are you making noise now? Let me talk.
Oh, actually, I'm playing sad music for your thing.
I don't want
Now
sad music. Stop.
anytime you're
I
going
don't
to be
want
telling
sad music.
stories, I'm going to be playing the theme of the
No,
music.
I don't
So
want that.
since
No,
you're
stop
telling
it.
a sad
Stop it. Stop
story,
it. Stop it.
eh?
Stop it. Sorry, I don't want it. So I don't know what it was that and the crazy thing is, guy will come to my house, he will eat, he won't wash his plates. He will balance on the bed, he won't tidy up. It's me that will be running up and down. So I don't know what happened that we were talking. It was like, oh, I'm 45. Hey, I wanted to faint. I was like, hey, you're older than me. I mean, I'm ready up. Come on, will you get up? you see, if you see the way I chased him up, I was like, oh yeah, go and wash those dishes. And hell yeah, make that bed. Like you're running me ragged. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm older than you. I sure you're older than me, and you're using me anyhow. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. But you see, because even though he still looked the same and everything, but in my head, I was like, this guy is older than me. This guy is older than me. This guy is no, that relationship could not last because in my head, I just couldn't get past the fact that he was older than me. I know I'm ageist. I'm trying to work past it. I'm happy to have older men as my friends and everything, but I definitely do not want to date an older man. And I have my reasons, and they are valid. And they're good. And by the time I put them out, a lot of women will agree with me and start thinking the same way I'm thinking.
They are listening now.
Oh, you want me to say my reasons? Okay, my
You
reasons.
wait. You can't put people on suspense on the live show like this.
Okay,
They didn't
okay,
ask you. You were the one who decided to tell them, so
okay.
they
My
must hear.
reasons are this is my reason. Looking at now, again, this is back to my home country, Nigeria. Looking at the the way that people outlive each other, most of the time women marry men who are much older than themselves or several years older than themselves. And when you look at the mortality rate, the men always die off years before the women, and the women are left alone. And you know how Nigerian culture is, if you're a widow you gotta remarry again. So you killed off your husband, so you marry another person. That kind of nonsense, you know. And like in my family, my dad died when he was in his 50s, and my mom is now in her 70s. So check out the length of time she's been a widow. And I just think that women outlive men normally. So I think it is absolutely idiotic. And this is my own belief. For me, I think it's idiotic for me to go and be with an older man when the possibility that he will check out before me is greater, because the women in my family live a very long time. So I that's why I believe that I should be with a younger man with sense, not a stupid younger man, no, a younger man with sense, a younger man, but at least that way we can be together for longer than if I went and married an older man, or if I went and stayed with an older man. So that's the way I've rationalized it in my head. You see, it makes sense. Even you couldn't say anything. It makes perfect sense.
Okay, so well,
It makes sense. Don't deny it.
so your purpose for doing for advocating for men and women to be the same age at marriage is so they die together, right?
No, not the same age. I think the man should be slightly younger because women generally outlive men. So at
Okay, so
least that way they one doesn't leave the other for too long when they grow old together.
okay,
Because
so
I think
basically what you see.
loneliness, from my experience, loneliness is a big killer. I know that if I didn't have this show, if I didn't have you, if I didn't have Pam, if I didn't have the few friends I have, I would be a total wreck, because loneliness is awful. It is awful. And
Okay,
that's the
so
thing that worries me
basically
with a
the
lot of these
oh,
widows.
okay,
Sorry, I just ran out. This is
okay.
what worries me with a lot of these widows, because you see them, they bring up their children by themselves because the men die very early. Martha says she likes the soundtrack. Martha, I thought you were on my side. you know,
But
these men
actually,
die
it helps your
early.
story. You're not patient. You're not patient. Actually, the soundtrack does help your story. You just didn't want to listen to it.
I don't want soundtrack. I'll get distracted. But this is the thing. If you
See,
look
for
at a
instance,
lot
for
of
instance, wait,
eh?
wait. Now you're talking now. You see, people relate more to your
It
story
sounds like a
now. Continue
mosquito. It
talking.
sounds like a mosquito. Stop it. Stop it. I don't want it. Stop it.
Okay, let's try this one. Let's try this one.
Do you mind? I
Okay.
don't want a soundtrack.
Okay. Okay.
Story alone. Put it on other people when they're
We are
talking. I
trying
don't
to
want
give
mine.
even
I
matter
don't
sees
want.
the need to give your story effect.
I'm the atmosphere, baby. I don't need any atmosphere. Leave it. So, but this is the thing. When you look
Okay.
at a lot of women who outlive their husbands die young. They tend to take care of the children till the children grow old. They don't remarry or anything. And then these children get married and then they go. And then this woman is by herself. And maybe they'll go and find one house help to come and stay with her or something like that, or one grandchild. But then she's by herself. And loneliness is awful. It's absolutely awful. So no, I would rather have a husband that or a man who would be there, you know, both of us will grow old together. And thank God I don't care anything about, oh,
Okay.
you're older than me, I'm older than you. Mm.
So back to my original question.
I've
To you,
answered it.
because you started the statement right to me. No, you started the statement right to me. Oh, that's to you. So I'm not going to
Okay.
judge you like you're advocating. So to
Judge me.
you, you feel like the people of the Stone Age were not really bright in setting up this system where an older person, older man marries a younger woman. You feel they weren't wise enough, like they didn't see well, they didn't understand, they didn't have enough
I still
young
don't see
widows
anything
to get
smart about it.
that.
I don't see anything
Let me
smart
finish.
about it.
I was still talking, I didn't interrupt you.
Okay, sorry. Okay, finish.
So
No vex.
So they didn't see anything. They didn't experience anything like young widows. They didn't experience anything like early death for husbands. Or even if they did, they still foolishly went along with the practice until recent time where we are now being in a position where we should review this order. So basically you're saying maybe a year or two. Oh, well, how many years do you recommend, like the seniority? Hello? Are you there?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Have
listening
you,
to you. I recently I was watching
so
a
how many years do you
historical.
recommend?
What I'm addressing what you just said. I recently I was watching a historical thing about the Stone Age, and again you find that a lot of the men died early, but the gap wasn't too much. It was about 6 years in between. So the men died around 42 years, and women died around 38 thereabout. So their lifespan wasn't that long. And
Why
the
was it
thing is,
short?
because again, they
Why was it?
hadn't learned how to deal with disease. They hadn't learned how to deal with treating food properly and all of that. So a lot of food poisoning was going on. A lot of, when they
An
went to fight
infection.
war. Sorry?
An infection. An infection.
infection and all of that. And when they went to fight, and they had wounds, they couldn't take care of it properly. So all those was part of why they died early. But in today's modern time, if I were to say and that, okay, I think a woman should be minimum 3 years older than her spouse or her partner. 3 years minimum, or four, then can go on. It doesn't take away from still being the head of the home for those who want that to be that. If a man is sensible, he's got a good head on his shoulder. And I have met some young men that I have nothing but the utmost respect for them, because the way they conduct themselves, it is so, I mean, I'm older than you, and I have nothing but respect for you. So, you know, have the way they conduct themselves, the way they carry themselves, they have a gravitas that even some older men don't have. You
Thanks,
know,
thanks
so
for buttering me up. Thanks for buttering me up. Before you say
Oshia
what I know where you are. You think I don't know you? Continue. I'm waiting for you
so
at the end of the road.
hey God, you see why I cannot pay Ron a compliment, because he will make me regret it. Mm.
Wait
Sha,
now. Everybody will see where
it's
this
all
is
right.
leading
It's
to.
all
Don't
right.
worry.
It's all right. Maybe I've talked your own. It's all right. So I don't. I think when it starts to get to like beyond 7 years, because my my last fiance, I was 7 years older than him, even though nobody knew because he was definitely bigger than me. What?
7 years.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know.
Okay.
Six
Let's
foot
move
four,
on.
6 foot 4 to my 5 foot 1, and he looked older than me, so there was no way that anyone would have known. But we did tell people that I was older than him. We didn't care about that anyways. So I think anything after 7 years, I think okay, we need to start calming down a bit, because that is now going to cradle smashing, you know. But some people do it. I mean, my mom, when my
Okay.
mother came visiting one time, when my mom came visiting one time, we went out into town and we met this couple. And honestly, the man looked older than the woman. And they were just a jolly couple. They were just making fun and everything. And my mom, they were like, come sit with us. And just chatting away. And my mom is there. This woman is older than my mother. In fact, my mother, she was thinking on the way home, like, she was saying to me, Yoruba, Obriema dagba jibilo. I like mama, yeah, like Obriema dagba jibilo, as in the woman is older than me, but my mom looked older than her. And I was like, you see what I'm telling you? Loosen up, go and find a boyfriend. And I was using it because I've been campaigning for her to get remarried for a while. I was like, loosen up, go and get them. You see, she got herself a young toy boy. And what is it? The young toy boy is my mom's age. But he's about 10 years older, 10 years younger than her. But I swear to God, you wouldn't have known. And my mom was in her 60s then. So you can imagine she was in her 70s, and the toy boy was in his 60s. But he looked older than her, but they were such a jolly couple. And my mom was really impressed by them, that wow, okay. I said, you see? And I kept saying to her, you see, I should I leave me alone, I'm not remarried. But sometimes is the state of the heart, I think, is really the state of the heart.
Okay. Um, the next question is not about my belief. It's not
Now,
about
wow, I
gain
don't
or
tire.
fame.
Oh.
It's
Somebody come and
about.
rescue me.
It's about. No, I'm not. No, I'm just. We need to punch holes in the theory and see how it works, so that we
Okay,
can know
I'm
whether
I'm
it's
texting all the
acceptable.
others. They should come
But
quickly.
it's okay. So remember, it's not about me. So now,
Yeah.
when generally it's accepted, an acceptable fact that all over the world, because of the economic situation, it's expected for a man to be ready for marriage at least by 35, right?
Mhm.
That's the expectation.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter if you're in Africa, you're in America, or you're in UK. Because at 35, you should have laid your ground foundations. You should know where you're heading to. You should be able to accommodate a family. You should not be a bum, or you should not be a liability to the wife you're marrying, right? 35. So
Mhm.
now let's put 7 on 35. It gives us
That's 42.
43, or is it
42.
42?
Hey, I sabi maths.
Now,
Hold the presses. Wait,
wait,
this is a momentous event. I calculated. Wait. What is that teacher's name? Oh, that said that you will never know maths. I hope you're watching this and you just saw me calculate. Nonsense. Sorry, go back. I'm calm now.
so So now we have the woman at 42 and the guy is 35 and they just get married because we're using your measuring index. We do realize that not all marriage, most marriages, I didn't say all, most marriages are based on things like childbearing, things like community union, things like love or partnership, but the most expectation is usually childbearing, right? Now just imagine that
Mm-hmm.
somebody, a young man who is at now that's 35 that the man is starting to get married. It's the 35 that the medical people has given us geriatric pregnancy period. That's a
Mm-hmm.
danger zone biologically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you see the challenge in starting units, a family's units, and creating a society with that system? Or don't you think that that's why those foolish, no, not foolish, those people before us thought about it and said, no, let it be this way so that we can. Because you have to remember something. When there is war, the safest people during war are children and women because they'll have to evacuate children and women first. Men always die. Men are always the main number one and most casualty during wars. We agree on that.
Yeah.
Basically, men are
Well, physical
like,
casualty, but
we're
yeah,
expendable.
yeah. Go on, yeah.
We Yeah, because a lot of women don't consider this when they're discussing this battle of sexes. We are the expendable ones. And thank God the war in Ukraine just proved my point. As soon as the Russians started dropping the first bombs, the first people they moved out were women and children. And they instructed that all men should stay. But if you're a woman, you want to join the army, good luck to you. But they were not too keen about it. But I'm trying to stress that men population is expendable. It's not important for creating a society. We're just there to plant the seed and move on. But we're really not that important in the scheme of things. So a society that wants to procreate and continue will not go for your theory. It won't work.
Now
It won't
again,
work.
you're going by what I said is the end
No,
range.
we're testing.
Now,
I said, let's remove our personalities from it. It's just a theory. We're working with a theory,
yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. You're
It's
going
not
by the
personal.
end
Yeah,
range.
we're
You're,
working.
you're going by the end range.
Yes, yes.
Now, when I was with this
Well,
person, well, no,
no,
let
no,
me
no
even
personals.
wait,
No
wait,
personal.
wait.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, and I agree. Using the term toy boy, well, it is derogatory. She actually referred to him as her toy boy, and he didn't seem offended. But yes, I do agree that using the term toy boy is derogatory. Now, the thing is, let's start from me. When I was dating this guy, that was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, that I was 7 years older than him. That's more than enough time for me to have had a child if we had actually gotten together and gotten married. Yeah? 10 years ago.
How
Are
old
we
was he?
agreed?
How old was he? No, how old
Well,
was he, the guy?
it was 7 years younger than me. I'll be exposing my age. Calculate
Something
it.
that you're
10
busy
years,
saying.
10 years away from this time, and then take away
I don't want to
seven.
be the one to say it, though. I don't want to be the one to say it now.
I'm not saying my age. Hey, Mr. H.
Hello, good
How
evening,
you
guys.
doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you for coming because this Mr. Interrogator, he was starting to.
Uh,
So, anyways, so that's 10 years ago because Pam and I actually calculated and realized that I've been single for 10 years. Yeah. So, 10 years ago, right? Now, that is the top range that I've said. Now, again, remember, these are people who would have been dating before they don't just meet and say, "Oh yeah, I'm getting married. I'm 35. Yeah, 7 years old. Yeah, let's marry." They've been dating and they've come to a kind of understanding of each other. Now, the woman might have, gotten pregnant or whatever, or whatever the case may be. But this is the thing: if If you're saying that, oh, men are disposable, they are really of no value in a society, then what's the point? Because women can get pregnant without men. You do realize that it is possible, or you don't need a physical man to be there. That's why they have sperm banks everywhere. There are no yet egg banks that men can go and put inside themselves to get pregnant, but a woman can go to a sperm bank, get some sperm and put it in herself and get pregnant. So if that's your theory about, oh, the dispense,
That's
but
an expensive venture.
men are not just there to put
An ex-
babies in women and go. They're there for companionship. They're there for, building a life together. They're there for all of that. And
no, you were
because,
talking about early death.
yeah, and what I'm
You were
saying is,
speaking of early
if
death.
the people of
So I
the
had to
if the
throw that
people of
in.
the middle ages, wait, if the people of the middle ages and everything did something, it doesn't mean that we now should continue to do it. Because if we can see that it obviously doesn't work, because we are having too many. How many widowers are you seeing in relations to widows? Think about it. There are too many widows
Can I answer?
compared to widowers. Too many women who are lonely, and then that's why you now get all those stereotypes, nosy packer mother-in-laws. Oh, because she doesn't have a husband, so she now turn her children into her, and all that stuff. Because again, society is like, oh, she shouldn't marry a man who is younger than her. But then when the man dies, oh, she shouldn't remarry because then that means she killed the man. Oh, I mean, come on. What exactly do we want? If a woman falls in love with a younger man, I don't see why there should be an issue. I don't see why it should make front page news. I don't see why it should be in the blogs.
Mm-hmm.
Two people have fallen in love. End of
I'm
story.
coming. I'm coming. We're moving out of the scope now. Remember, we're testing a theory. Let's not personalize
How
it.
am I
We're
moving out
testing
of the
a
scope
theory.
again? Oh,
That's what we're doing. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I
Hello?
don't understand how I moved out of the scope, but
We're
break it
testing a
down.
theory.
Wiki wiki.
We're not. We're okay. You know what? Let Hamza talk so that when Hamza is not, then he
Yeah,
just
Mr.
got in.
H,
Hamza,
please.
you have the
Yeah, so
floor.
And remember
Abby,
that
what?
I love you, Mr. H. Remember that I'm loving you now. Don't go and make that love turn to hate. Oh. Yes, go ahead, speak.
Yeah, yeah. Good evening, everybody. And it's what we are talking about today. It's a reversing aging. That is 40 is the new 20. That's what we are talking
Yes,
about.
so before you change it to another
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Because my own basic opinion is that nowadays you see that the tide is changing, if I would say that. It's changing because before we have like a route that we need to go, like as is we have to have children at the age of maybe before 35, or people regard after 35, if a woman is not married or a man is not married, you are like a loser. But now it's not like that anymore. Okay, as Abby has said just now, it's not necessary a man should be there for a woman to get pregnant. There are sperm banks and things like that. And I see now that women in their older age, like 50, 55, they're looking more younger now because why? They've discovered that if you take care of yourself, you will look younger. And let me give you an example. I went to a place to fix my car one day, and I met an elderly man there. The man should be over 85 years or thereabout, and he brought a car, and the car was sparkling uh, clean and still looking very good. It's a very old car. Then I asked the old man. Then I asked the old man, "Oh, how come this your car is still looking like this?" It's a white old man. The man should be like 85. It's a very old man using a walking stick. He said to me, "If you love something, if you take care of it, you will have it forever." So what I'm trying to say is that you see that women nowadays that are in their 50s are taking good care of their bodies, and they are enjoying life more. If I would say that they are enjoying life more, because let me give an example. We do have a neighbor here, and if you see the daughter and the woman, you would think they are age mates. The woman is probably getting to 60, but if you see the way she looks like, you think she's like 21 or something like that. That's because modern day women are taking good care of themselves more, exercising more, going to the gym more, and now they know the essence of life, that it doesn't matter if you are over 35 and you don't buy a house or you don't buy a car. It doesn't really matter, because you still have a lot years ahead of you to make it alive, or to do all those things. So I think it's a good trend, because nowadays people can take their time, and people make mistakes. People make mistakes during relationship. So you see some people, they say, okay, they get married at maybe 25, and you see at 30 they're already divorced, because they didn't take their time to find themselves. Sometimes you need to find yourself well before you get into, don't, because of, before we used to have this family pressure, peer group pressure. Oh, you are the only one lacking behind. But nowadays you can see that the trend is turning now. You don't let anybody pressurize you. Do what you need to do at your own. It's your happiness that matters, and you need to bring it first, because now you don't want to end up in a marriage that at the end of the day you'll be crying. You won't be happy with it. So nowadays I think it's right. It's 40 is the new 20s, because now you can see that the people in the 40s and the 50s are really now enjoying more life, because they are found out that being pressurized in life to probably be the house when you're 25, get married when you're 25. It sometimes it doesn't go according to plan. And people in the olden days, they will feel that you're a failure if you're over 35, you're a woman, you don't get married, everybody will run away from you. But now you can see women that are 40, 45, and they are living their best life. They're living even if they're divorced, you see that they are living well. They focus on their kids, and to focus on their own happiness. Because, like, let me give an example in South Africa. Yeah, you see women that are 50, 55, that they're single mothers, that they're really enjoying their life. They're living very, very well. I have a friend of mine that she's living with the son. The son is maybe like 27 or 30. And about a month ago, she brought her friends from Johannesburg. Like, I think they are like 5 females and one man. And I could see they're in their 60s, but you can see the way they enjoy their life. They live free. If you see them, you would think they're like 30s, because they've taken good care of themselves, because they have known the reality of life, not to be pressured to say you must do this, you must do this when you're at this age. And and when I saw them, I feel that, even at your older age, you should be able to enjoy life more. You shouldn't be pressurized. And there's one man among them, and do you know, I never knew that the man was a Nigerian. The man is about over 60s. So we started talking, and the guy said to me that he's a Nigerian, and I was shocked. I was really shocked, because when you see him, you don't think he's a Nigerian. And he said, "No, I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Yoruba man." He's an advocate in Johannesburg, and I think he went to school with these women. I think he schooled here and everything. And he was telling me he stays in Lagos. He has a house in Lagos, and this. But when these people came together, and because I was opportune to take them to, I gave them a ride to the wine farm. We went to the wine farm. You could see the conversation. You could see that they are enjoying life at their fullest now. They didn't let all those things. They have kids. Some of them don't have, but you can see that they're not pressured with life. You can see that the some of them work with Escom just like NEPA. Like NEPA here, and you see that they're living a very, very good life. So hold on, please.
You see? Best life. Best
So sorry for
life.
that. So that
Yes,
is life for you. So it people now are getting the thing that you need to. It doesn't matter how old you are, but it's how well you are. That is what is in stake now. Because normally, if I'm sure I'll be in London, there you will see older women enjoying their life to the fullest, going to the golf club,
Ha.
and they don't allow people, they don't allow all those olden days adage, like, when you are this, you're all over, you don't have kids or whatever. It shouldn't. To my own opinion, it shouldn't be like that. People should be able to enjoy their life at what age, at what standard they should be able to live. When it's 50, that is when they're supposed to be even be enjoying life. Because the more you take good care of yourself, and the more you free up your mind, you will see that you live longer, you live happier. Because sometimes you just need to leave a lot of baggages. Most of the time, like I'll give an example now. Most people that you see in Nigeria, you see people that are 30, think they're 40, they're 45, they're 50 because of the baggages, because of
Yeah.
the baggages they're carrying. So that's my own take on the matter. You see that that's why in our country too, you see that people carry a lot of baggages when they are 30. You think they are 50s because of all those stress. People are not allowed to free themselves. People are not allowed to enjoy themselves. People are not allowed because the pressure is too much, either from the family, from the pressure, from the community, from the society. You say, oh, you are 35, you are 40, you're not married. Okay, you're not taking care of yourself. But when people begin to take good care of you, you see that you live longer. Because let me just give you, before I give it to the next speaker to speak. There is one lady that texted me a long time ago. We went to school together, and she said to me, "Can you advise me on something?" I said, "What is it?" He said, "I'm married, and I have 3 kids, but my husband doesn't find me attractive anymore. He's going for the younger girls in school. You know what I mean?" So she was complaining to me, and what can she do? Then I said to her, I said, look, even then I he said, what is it that the husband is probably looking at the young girls for, or dating the young girls? I said to myself, I said, look at you. You have 3 kids, but you don't take good care of yourself. You have not found your feet. That is why the man is going out there. If you take good care of yourself, I'm sure the man will not go out there. And I'm telling you, everyone can attest to it. There are people here in South Africa here that they have 3 kids. When you see them, you think they don't even have a child because of the way they take care of themselves and the way they're looking happy. Ron can testify to it. You see women here with 4 kids, but if you see them, you would think they are 25. So everybody should be free to enjoy themselves and should offload those baggages. So the new 40s, the new 20, even the new 18, I'm in support of that. Women or men should be able to be allowed to drop the excess baggage and take good care of themselves and start finding their feet and start enjoying things that will make them happy. Because if you're happy, you will live a longer life. If you are stress free, you will live a longer life. Yeah.
You are so on point. Thank you. And again, I love you. You're so on point. And that's why I'm trying to explain to Ron that you see that whole, oh, in the olden days, they
No,
did it
no,
like this. So are
I'm
they
about,
stupid?
no,
It's
I'm
not
about to
about
ask
whether
him the
they're
question now.
stupid.
Wait,
Wait, wait,
wait,
wait.
wait,
Okay.
wait.
That it's not
What you
about
said
them
has no bearing.
being stupid or anything. Okay, okay. Go on.
What he has just said has no bearing with the question. He's just talking about the topic. Now, let me ask him
Okay,
the question I asked you.
okay,
So, I don't know how long you've been watching, but I'll repeat myself, Mr. Hicks. Let me repeat myself. Now, we are looking at a theory that Abby is advocating for. It's not personal, it's just a theory. She's saying
Yeah.
that she's postulating that is it not better we have women between older than their men, between 2, 3 to 7 years old, at least 7 years older than their men in marriage. So I said, okay, that's okay, but I also threw a curveball and I said, okay, generally men are expected to marry late because you have to be having a financial footing and capability to lead or maintain a family. At 35, you should have been able to sort yourself out. So instead of all these 22-year-old husbands or 30-year-olds, but the society, the world has said, okay, an average of 35 is fine, so that men can have time to build up. Then I said, okay, now if have already agreed that 35 should be a standard, if we add 7 to 35, we are now going 42.
42.
And this poses a challenge because medically, geriatric pregnancy problem starts at the age of 35, like difficulty in conception, difficulty in holding, it's a medical thing. It's not about political correctness. I said, so how do we balance it out? Now, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I was saying, how do we balance this out? How do we marry this? Because for the main purpose of majority marriages, is not, we're not looking at exceptions now, we're looking at the general construct. Majority is for people to get married and have children to procreate and replenish the society from which you come from, right? Did you hear that part?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. H,
Yeah, I'm
it's
He
hearing
acting
said
you.
as if
so.
it's
Yeah.
freezing. That's what I'm proposing. Okay,
No.
He's watching you.
so
Listen.
it's meant to, for, uh, so the whole purpose is to recreate and replenish the society. Then I also explained to Abby that of the two sexes, men are more expendable because when there's a war, the first people that they push out to go and fight is men. Women and children are usually secured and taken away for safety. It happened in the time past and it's happening today because we are witnessing the Ukraine-Russia war, whereby, remember the first week the war started, the first people the government evacuated were women and children. They forced the men to stay and fight. They were virtually conscripted to fight that war. Did they hear me?
We are
Yes.
Mr. H.
listening.
Yeah, we can listen to. We
No,
are
we are
listening to you.
listening. If we
Okay.
don't hear you, we'll let you know.
Okay.
Continue.
So, so So now the men were forced to, conscripted and forced to fight that war while women and children were evacuated. So I was trying to explain to Abby that even at this year arrangement, this problem also makes men, the shortage of men, more visible because men have died in this war, which reduces the population of men more. So if you are saying that it's okay for older women to be marrying younger men, do you think that the people who set the standard in the past were not wise? Or what do you think? What's your opinion? That's what we are debating now. About older
Okay.
women uh, marrying a
And
man
I
who
don't
is
know why
35
he
years
had
old
to
because
go for
we're
the
setting the standard.
maximum. I don't know why he
Yeah.
had to go for the maximum because most women will not marry a man 7 years younger than them. Most women will not. I was willing to, but I'm one of the few. I said from 3 to 4
I said,
and
I said,
then
take
7
yourself out of
max.
the equation. Take yourself.
So
Yeah,
no, but that's what I'm
No,
saying.
this is
Most
yeah,
women
but
will
this is
not
a
want to
theory.
marry someone who
yeah,
is 7 years younger than them.
what we generally don't understand, which I always try to tell people is that look, when we're talking about a relationship, we often misunderstand that concept, and it's between two people. If you probably look at the dictionary of the meaning of relationship, it is two
Answer,
people.
before you go
And
forward, wait,
and
hold on,
and
wait, wait, before you go
you
forward.
understand?
Let
Calm
him
down, calm
finish.
down,
Let him
calm
finish.
down, calm
We
down.
Yeah,
let him
and what I'm
finish.
saying is that
So that we
to
don't
me,
waste
No,
time,
let
so that
him
we don't
finish
waste time.
now.
yeah,
Wait, hold on.
No,
Before we
let
waste
him
time,
finish. We
let's
waited
set
for
the
you to
age.
finish.
parameters. Don't take it out of the equation we are discussing. Stick within the parameters so we don't waste time.
Okay.
Oh, yes. But what I'm
That's what
saying,
he's saying now. Let him finish.
what I'm saying is that it is the union of two people, and age shouldn't be a barrier to true love. No, age shouldn't be a barrier to true love. True love. If whether the woman is 7 years older or 7 years younger, the most important thing is the understanding. The most important thing is the understanding in the union. Because at the end of the day, people, somebody will say they are of this age, but they still behave like kids. Somebody will say they are at this age, but they cannot handle some issues. So what I'm
Answer,
saying that
that is not what I'm talking about. You see why I wanted to
mm,
set parameters? You've gone off topic. That's not what we're
Okay.
discussing.
So
We're
what are you
discussing
talking about?
society replenishment. We are not talking about love. Ah,
But
society.
why is it that it's society that has to determine how people run their relationship? Because
no.
that
Oh,
has
When,
been
we,
the
when two of
problem.
us were discussing, hold on. When two of us were discussing, we're not discussing love. Abba, let's
I
stick
didn't
to
throw
the
love into it because
parameters.
I know that you shall deal with it.
Eh, don't put love inside. Leave the love. We'll discuss the love in another topic first. We are talking about society, replenishment, procreation, the setting. How does it work? I'm not talking about. Remember, I don't have an opinion here. I'm just
Yeah, but
asking theoretical
this is the
questions.
issue. It doesn't matter whether the man is 7 years older or 7 years younger. If the woman is in a prime, and women are getting pregnant later and later now. So if the woman is in her prime, it doesn't matter whether the man is 7 years younger or 7 years older. She will get pregnant and have a baby. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, what?
Save me! I know you're on my side. I know you're on my side.
I'm
So yeah,
just been
please
asking for
deal
you
with
every
deal with this concability that is asking me question. Fire
time.
Now, before Dr. Collins speaks, I want to read Martha's point. She said, why does it have to be a toy boy though? I think that's derogatory. She was talking about when the woman was referring to her partner as a toy boy, and it kind of diminishes the relationship, sexualizes and objectifies the man. I agree, but that's what she called him. That's what she was happy to call him. And then she said, this you are not taking care of yourself is as reason for cheating is false and tired. Mbok. I was following him until this. So that's you, Mr. H. Because a woman is not taking care of herself does not mean that a woman can take care of herself. Look at Rihanna. Not be cheat, they cheat on her. As she fine rich, even with the belly, when she they do everything, they don't cheat on her. So it's not you're not taking
You
care of
see,
yourself.
you
What
see why I said, we should remain contextual. That's why I deliberately removed love and feelings from this equation so that we can discuss
So this is yeah, I'm going to Martha's
replenishment and
statement.
appropriation. Hmm?
I'm going to
Oh, okay.
Martha's statement. It had nothing to do with love. Okay, Dr.
So I'm
Collins, go
removing
ahead.
love.
Okay, Mr. H, have you
Yeah.
finish up what you were saying, please?
No, let him start again. By remove love, start again.
Okay. What I'm saying is that, like, the
Dr.
society
Collins will
shouldn't
come to you.
determine. Yeah, the society or the community should not determine. As Abby said, now if it's a woman is in her prime and she's able to replenish, she should. Because the problem we're having nowadays is society and community always trying to dictate. So what I'm saying, what Abby said is correct. When a woman is in their prime, it's they should be able to and
Okay,
age
I know
shouldn't
you were
matter.
not paying attention. I knew you were not paying attention. Let me repeat the question again. And let me put the parameters. Says this is a theory, this is not people's opinion. Theory. We've not accepted it. We're just trying to see how it can work in the society, okay? So let's not abuse any community or society. Let's stick to the topic. One, we've agreed standard wise that this modern day and age, because of the pressure of the society we live in and the world at large, it is now expected for a man to be 30, at least 35 years old for him to be capable of, by 35, it's expected that he should have eh, progressed career wise. He should have learned a lot because they say women develop faster than men when it comes to relationship psychology and all that. So it's expected by 30,
and the PowerPoint.
by 35, you should, don't worry, I'm your son. So by
Yeah, so
35, okay.
What's up,
So, sorry, we did.
you unsorted it.
Okay, do it. Sorry, do it. So by 35, we are telling the men now that by 35, we expect that these things are in place. You should have been promoted at work to a certain level, or your skills should have taken you somewhere, or your business should have grown to a certain level. 35 is fair. I think it's fair. Now we've pegged the 35 for men now. Now, Abby is postulating, not that she's saying that everybody should. She's not advising people. She's just postulating that. What if she sees a situation where women should always be at least 3, 4, 5, at least 7 years older than their spouses so that they can at least die together so that she's not lonely if the man dies quickly from any reason, right? Now, then I threw a curveball to Abby. I said, there's a problem with this, your postulation, because medically, it's considered that geriatric pregnancy crisis starts from the age of 30. That's same 35. You're not paying attention, Hamza. That's it.
I am paying attention.
That same
I
age
get,
of 35.
Yeah.
That same age of 35, it starts becoming difficult for women to conceive. I did say it. It's a medical term. Every doctor knows. Every gynecologist knows this. It's not my opinion. It's not society forcing women to understand. That's medicine, right? So, but I told Abby that, if the standard now is 35 for men, and he's going to marry somebody 7 years older than him, it means she's going to be 42. And this brings a conflict to the instance of replenishment and repopulation of the society you live in or you came from. How do
But
we
you are
marry?
putting society there now. You are putting society there now.
Yeah, no, you see, just pay attention. Let me finish. How do we marry it now?
You don't have to. You don't have to talk to him like that now. I think
Wait.
he's
No,
not.
no, love. Wait. Remove
I will touch
feelings.
him.
Remove emotion. Wait, Hamza, wait now. Remove feelings. Remove love from the equation. I remove opinion as far and nobody should talk to me. We are looking at the outcome of this decision. What does the outcome possess? For instance, if 80% of the general society decides to take Abby's postulation, it means that society will not be replenished. That's the outcome,
Why?
right? Because
Not everybody is going to go for somebody 7 years younger than themselves.
we
So
are
not
not.
everybody is going to
Hold
do
on.
that.
Wait, hold on. Even when I said the outcome, it means there will be little replenishment. It doesn't mean that there won't be any
Why?
replenishment. Okay, answer the question.
Okay,
We have
I've
the
gotten
answer.
to, yeah, I've gotten to what you're saying now. What you're saying is now that 35, a man should have maybe career-wise advanced, at least to be stable, right?
Yeah.
And now if you say you're marrying somebody that is going to be 7 years, 7 years, then the woman will be probably 42 or something like that. That's what you're trying to say, right? But what I'm trying to say is that, and again, it still boils down on the pressure from the society. There are people that are 35 that has not been able to stand well in career-wise, in anything wise. You're still saying this. We're still coming back to the same thing. And let me tell you, I'm still with Abby
Hello?
again. Abby is still saying when it's a woman's prime to give birth, let them give birth, okay? And you are talking about for them to for the generation to move on, and you understand. So what I'm saying to you is that when it is time for some women are comfortable to marry men older than them, and some of them are comfortable to marry women and men younger than them. So what I'm saying is that, as you said to yourself, you still bring society to society shouldn't be a determining factor whether you're 35, whether you're 24. If you can mentally handle it, start your family when you can start your family. Start to reproduce when you can reproduce. That is how it's
Thank you.
supposed to be. The society or the community shouldn't be a factor.
Okay. Mute.
When you get to 35, or when a lady is married 7 years younger. I know women don't want to be alone because
Yes,
Yes,
we can.
Could
Wait.
I hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. H, you are very on point because in the UK here, the average that men get married by 25, 27, they are married. And
Yes.
you will see a 27-year-old guy with 3 children.
Yes.
Or a woman who is like 25 and she has 4 or 5 children. So whatever pleases anybody, let them do. I said for me, I think marrying a younger man is better than it makes more sense.
Abby.
Yeah, Dr. Kwale.
Um, we do not grow old outside of our cultural milieu. Our age, who we are, is determined by where and the people that surround us. That's one. The other
Okay.
part of it is biological. And what I have found out is that we are all not the same, though we all look the same. But our internal constitution is not the same. What my brother was saying about childbirth and medical, I can explain it simply as a layman. There is something called the caudal bone. It's the atrophication of what would have become the tail for human beings. That caudal bone When you're young as a woman, it can move freely, right? But if you have not had one or two when you were young and it could freely move, it it um it, it's sort of,
Atrophy?
it's not that it would atrophy. Atrophy means that it would diminish, but it would ossify.
Okay, calcify.
Ossification. It will become. It
Okay.
will just be like that. And what they say is that the head of a baby, when it's coming out from the pelvis, can be damaged. That's one of it. Internal constitution, that people advise that when women, if you had your first child at age 20 and you decide to have another one at 42, there are still chances and there are things that can be done. But they just tell you that the caudal bone that doesn't move easily, right? You should pay attention to it and the kind of damage that can come to the child. So having said that, I have heard society. You become who you are through what is called in sociology socialization.
Mm.
Socialization means, in the first instance, what you think is beautiful is not what you see with your eyes. It is what everybody around you have drummed into your ears that is beauty that becomes beautiful. That is one. So your beauty is dependent on what, or the whole idea of aesthetics is dependent on what you were told is beautiful. Beauty at the point of the pre-modern era was said to be in the eye of a beholder because they did not understand the mechanism of a processing of what you are seeing. That if you do not have the terminology for beauty, right, you're not likely to be able to press it into service. So we now know that it is the knowledge, your social background, your cultural background that determines who or what is beautiful. That aside. When it comes to the sexes, the male and the female, age is both psychological and biological. It has been said over and over again that a 10-year-old boy and a 10-year-old woman are not on the same level of maturity. And this is not a general rule. It is not in every society that it works. In warrior societies, where they go through the age grade and the coming of age, the men age faster than the women. And why do women age faster than men? Because look at the renewing process, that renewing, that monthly renewal of self, which is a very spiritual thing that has been discounted. It is what happens that during that period. If you bring 10 men to this forum, 11 of them will have no idea what is going on. They just think that it has to do with buying sanitary wares and all. They do not know of all the hormonal changes that go on. My friend calls it the 3H, the head, the heart, and the hormones. And they all interact with each other, pulling the woman at different directions. So this is what leads to early maturation of some women. Now some women can handle it when they meet a 27-year-old boy and they are already 37. You know that technically they are probably 47 and the boy is still 27, depending on where he comes from. Now what happens when they meet is dependent on how the woman can handle her own maturity. If a man comes from a rich family, you know that age doesn't matter. He already has the wherewithal. But those who in the middle class have to work very hard, usually by the timetable of the educational system, if you are in Western Europe, the assumption is that by 30, you should have left and completed your education. and started a career. Even if you're going to start a career at McDonald's, in 4 years, by 34, you will become a manager if you remain in McDonald's flipping burger, right? And
Yeah.
we also know that as managers in McDonald's, you can buy a car, you can buy a house, and all of those things that go with it. So I can see how a woman who is 42 and is interacting with a 32-year-old person to feel a bit psychological, physiological, and spiritually superior to that man. And it also depends on the background the woman has come from and who her friends are. Because just like men succumb to peer pressure, women also succumb to peer pressure. Most of the things women know in this age, they know from their friends. In the age of my mother, what they knew from their grandmothers. But there's been a shift in all of that, and there's been a democratization of what women know and can know. So, if you agree with some of these basics that I've laid down, I think we can continue the discussion from there and see where can we build on, and stuff and all of that. Calling somebody a toy boy, I tell you, I worked in an organization, a Canadian organization. They said anybody who yells is the one guilty, no matter what the case is. Once you yell, you are the guilty one. And name calling is a form of yelling. Calling somebody a toy boy is also a sign of frustration. Something is not going well. And lastly, let me just totally off point. I want you to go and look at relationships that work long and work well for the two of them. Both of them, it said, usually have a secret that if one walks away from, will feel endangered, that it will be revealed. So if you have two weed smoking couple, they hardly break up. I leave that with you.
Dr. Collins, the woman calling the woman calling her husband her toy boy, she was actually joking. She wasn't name calling him. She was just like, "Oh, meet my toy boy," that kind of thing. And Nito was like, "Yeah," that kind of thing. And they were just joking with us. They were joking with me and my mom. It wasn't anything serious. They were just like having fun with us. Honestly, they were married.
Abby, sorry, sir. Just one thing, Abby. Have you ever studied jokes? There is people, when you want to say something serious, you say it like a joke. There's nothing called joke. About that. Yeah. There's nothing called joke. That woman meant it, but wanted it. So it's called, we call it the golden parachute. So if the man takes it badly, says, "I was just joking." Of all the jokes in the world, you call your man a toy boy. Well,
okay. Well,
that's majoring in minor.
And I don't know
let me ask you a question with escape. What if the man was older, is sugar daddy of the girl, and he said publicly to the hearing of your mom that, "Oh, see my side chick, how did you say it?
Side chick,
how would you see it?"
My mom was shocked by the toy boy statement. So
no, you. Leave your mom. You. How would you see it?
Me, I would just be like, "Oh,
you're an equal sex offender. Remember, you're an equal sex.
No, I'm an equal, because again, I wasn't offended by her saying toy boy, because now she get her property. So whatever way she wants to call him, she can call him. But if he calls her side chick and she's smiling and going, "Oh, my sugar daddy," what's it concern me? It's not.
So as a feminist, it doesn't affect you. As a feminist, it doesn't affect you.
As long as I'm not the one they are calling side chick, I'm good.
You see how it's easy to accept.
you
I
want
just
to die,
conducted a
call
fun
me side
experiment.
chick.
Wait, I just conducted a sharp experiment now. Did you see how you sidestepped it?
No, no, this is not about, at least you know me small. I'm an equal opportunity offender. If it was going to annoy me, that I don't be like, now, wow, side chick, and since she was smiling, oh, that's the most of the reaction I would give to it. Because at the end of the day, it's their relationship. They know how they call each other. It's got nothing to do with me. The woman and her
Okay,
husband are strangers to us. So the guy and the girl will be strangers to me. Why would I be offended on her behalf when she is not? You
okay,
understand what
let's
I'm
not
saying?
major on the minor. Let's not major on the minor to sidetrack us. Now let's go back to Mr. H. Mr. H.
Yeah,
Mr.
Excuse
H.
me.
I'm listening.
You've heard the erudite professor now. He has explained it to you now.
Yeah.
They did not mention society, they did not mention for sports. We're discussing a theoretical approach to replenishing society. Now that you know that it's not the society that is forcing anybody, it's the medical and biology that is determining certain things. And how do you say, sociological and financial construct that is determining the man's position, and the woman's position is being determined by a biological clock. Now that you know
Mm.
it's not society forcing anybody, can you please represent your paper again? Because I thought the last one you did and threw to
But
you.
Dr.
So
Collins,
start
you did
over
not
again.
say that because a woman is older, she can't be with a younger man. You did not say that.
That's not what he
Uh-huh.
said. He is strengthening
So,
the
no, because the
parameter.
way you are presenting it to Mr. H as
No,
if
no, 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 no. Oh,
they
hold
said
on. No,
society, they said this one.
Abby, wait, calm down, calm down. See,
I'm calm.
all he did was he just strengthened that if there's a possibility that biologically this actually happens to women. Then he also explained the man in McDonald's that he needs certain number of years to stabilize, established. So now that we have these two parameters, can we now have the discussion again? Mr. H, back, I've thrown away your other paper, start all over again.
Oh,
And don't be in your feelings this time.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As I said, well, as I was, back to what we're talking about. I still stand on what the point I made earlier.
Mr. H, chop knuckle. Chop knuckle. Chop it.
I'm not changing my mind. I'm not changing my mind because, look. You could be 35 and have not been able to stand well, and you could be 27 and you are standing well.
Do you understand the meaning of the word
As
parameters?
Abby said,
Wait, Mr. H.
wait, Ron, you know yourself.
Oh, hold on.
Ron,
Dr.
you need to be
Collins,
straight
is
with
Mr.
yourself.
H saying anything wrong?
No, Ron, you know people that I
It's
know
all
people
about
that
the
are.
parameters. It's bringing feelings
No,
into this.
I am not bringing feelings into it. I am just telling the reality of life. There are people that are
Okay, good.
27 that have 3 kids.
We're not
And
dealing
the
with
people
those
that
people. Mr. H, hold. Mr. H,
Why are
we
you
are not
not
dealing
dealing
with
with
those
them?
people. Hold on, hold on.
he doesn't
Calm
want to.
down.
He doesn't want to.
Wait.
He doesn't want to. He wants
We're
to
not
get
dealing. Hold on, Mr. H. We are not dealing with those people. We already set the parameters. These are the people we are dealing with. We said it from the beginning. We are not dealing with other people. We'll have another day to discuss other people, their feelings, their loves. It's okay, we will discuss it. But for now, we are discussing the social economic construct for the man and the biological clock for the woman. In this theory, it's not forget about society, forget about feelings, forget about everything. Let's deal
Dr.
with it
Collins,
as
don't
it is.
go because I want you to, because Ron likes to force things. And that's why I need you to watch
I
him.
don't
Please,
want us
Dr.
to
Collins, don't
no,
go.
Abby.
No,
Abby, I
because
need
we
you
are
to
not saying
understand
that.
something.
Okay, let me tell you something. A guy I
This is
dated some
where
time ago. Wait, a guy I
you
dated,
see
and I
you're
told you about this guy.
personalizing it. You're
Wait now. No, I
personalizing.
have to personalize it because you're making it as if a guy who is under 34 or 35 cannot make it. This guy was
It's
33
not.
and he was already very well established in his career.
Abby, we are not dealing with exceptions. We are dealing
This is
with.
not a matter of exceptions. Is this an exception now? Don't we
Hold
have
on, hold
more?
on.
Wait. Don't we have more people who are actually making money at younger ages now? Okay,
No.
Dr. Kole. No, wait,
Okay,
Dr.
all right. Let me just give you a language for this. Usually in statistics, we talk of the bell curve, the 60% of the population, and there are 20% called the outliers on both sides. Those who have not made it before 30, whatever, and those who have overmade it. But I think what Mr. Ron is harping upon is let's remain within the 60%, the bell curve. The bell curve represents the general populace, right? Am I right? So it's the general
Yes, sir.
populace that we're looking at. We're not looking at the outliers. And who are the general populace? What does that statistics tell us? That within that 60, there are mostly people within 30 to 38. Usually, they would have left home, they would have completed their education, they would have had some kind of stability in their career. Now there are people who all of that would apply to from age 27. Those are the outliers. There are not a lot of them. So if we look
Thank
at
you. You are saying 30 to 38. He is insisting that it is 35 and no other.
35 is the median now. That's the average. We need to use a figure. We have to pick a figure.
yeah,
That's 35
You
is the
can't pick a
average.
figure because it's a spectrum. You can't pick a figure. You have to give an
Okay,
average. You have to
okay, 30 to 40. 30 to 40.
even
Yeah.
that 35, you can argue on what is called the standard deviation, the number of years that deviates from that 35. So there could be 5, so that would be 30. There could be 5 plus 5, and that's why they say plus or minus. So what he is just using, is that he's saying, let's take a benchmark. It's called benchmarking. Let's take
I
a
know.
benchmark
Well,
of
that is
35.
benchmark no go work.
You can now refuse that benchmark, but that benchmark will still fall within the 60% of the population, except you have any other data to prove otherwise.
That's
35
where
is not
I was supposed to go to.
it's not a sacrosanct figure. He didn't just pluck it from the air. He's not just saying, boom,
No,
boom.
he is, because he asked me and I said, well, I think that a woman should be about 2 to 3 years older than her spouse, or maximum roughly about 7. So he now said, okay, so a man who is 35 and the woman is 7 years older. But I said 3
Yes.
to 5 to 7. So
Sorry,
I gave
sorry.
a spectrum. Why are you picking one age and saying that is the age?
Emma
Why
Binu,
did you
let's
like
use 3.
54?
Sorry. Let's use 3 years older. Okay, are you fine with 3? Is 3 okay by you? 3
Not
still puts
okay.
you at 38. 3 still puts you at the age of 38 past geriatric period.
Leave
Okay?
geriatrics. They've been on my body. Now your own. I don't know why men like to dictate about women's bodies. Now your own. Now you get the pussy. Is it your pussy?
Abby, now let's do logical analysis. Let's leave feelings. Leave feelings out of this. Let's be
This is a
logical here.
matter of feelings. With the advancement of science, aren't more women getting pregnant at older ages?
How many women can afford it, Abby? Not bad now.
Women affording it now. Women they knock and they get belly. And it no
But
matter
this is
about
not,
whether they afford
Abby,
something.
that's not what we are discussing here. We've set benchmarks. Let's use the benchmark. I've reduced your benchmark to 3 years. I think we are fine.
So
3
the
years.
benchmark excludes women where they knock, where they get belly.
It doesn't matter. Abby, now.
Okay, I'm just trying
please.
to understand. Oh yeah, continue.
Please, okay. So, Hamza, you've heard it now. It's not about society forcing anybody. It's about socioeconomic values and the biological clock.
Master, join us now,
again.
please. You have the
Take
code.
up the
Join
feeling.
us.
Oh yeah, Hamza, let's go.
Yes. Okay. Well. Yeah. Well. As you've said, as Mr. Collier has said, and now we say
Dr. Colley, did you see Professor Colley?
No, it
not
is-
Mr. Bego.
It's
no,
Dr.
it's not
Collins.
there. Yeah. So
It's Dr. Colley.
within that parameter, within that parameter to say, okay, maybe when 25, you should be able to stand on your own. And between medical whatever medical analysis to say if a woman is probably over 40, it's going to be difficult to have kids. I will agree with that. I will agree with that. Then if you say, okay, but the problem where I still have a problem, it's that I've been at 35 and been standing on the feet, because it's not always like that. This is reality. Let me tell you.
I thought we've agreed. I thought we've agreed that
We've agreed. Yes. What I'm saying, I'm just saying it.
Don't go back to it. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let's stick to the.
Which one is your own now? I tire for you.
Yeah.
Mr.
Then
we need to be contextual. That's my point.
Exactly.
Mr. H, continue.
Then the age. Then to me, the age wise. Then to me, the way age different. It should depend on the two people to settle for it. If you are good for it, older than you, fine. If you are good for it, younger than you, it's fine. So far, you guys can work it well and work it out to make.
Okay, so how does it? Yeah. Okay, so how does it help the concept of replenishment and population?
Not everybody wants to have children. Now, which one? Am I the nation cow?
Again, the concept of
I don't want to.
Hold on. Again, the concept of not everybody wants children is a tiny, minute percentage of the general public. We are not doing minority reports here. We're doing the 60% now. The curve bell, as our erudite professor has just stated. We're dealing with the bell now.
Erudite 1,000 times. We heard you the first time.
Did you hear the way he dropped knowledge now within 5 minutes?
I know Dr. Kole personally.
There's something I could not have done. It's something I could not have done since I've been on Mongolo Cronies. Hey, Professor, that's how you know when you say Professor. It just came 5 minutes. He summed up most of the things I've been trying to push out for almost 1 year.
It still showed you that you don't know what they talk.
That's why I have to call him erudite professor. Somebody has come with superior knowledge.
Reality. We must talk about
reality.
reality.
God, he realized that somebody is superior to him. He always thinks he knows everything.
Did you see? I'm going to do Dr. Colley explains segment next week. I think I should take a break. So, Doctor, you know why? Because I'm willing to be humble. I'm humble enough.
I'm willing to be humble. Yeah, well done.
Somebody humble.
You are all welcome to another segment of Ron Explains.
What now?
Ron, again. What
you guys will not be saying this again. So the next week we are going to do Professor's Own. He's going to break it down because I think I've learned a lot today from his superior
Dr.
knowledge.
Senu, who is actually, wait a minute, Dr. Senu, who is actually a gynae, so he deals with women matter, not you that is talking out of your ass. He's actually on the show. Dr. Senu, please, can you come onto the show? Can you click on the link and join us, please, Dr. Senu? And while we go back, Martha says, men being forced to fight is a result of patriarchy, Sha. So it's still the male patriarchy that's caused that whole men fighting to going to fight. And then Sis Agnes said, I prefer to marry a younger man. Thank you, Chop Noku. Then Martha said, feminism is choice. If the woman is fine with being called a side chick, if the woman is fine with being called a side, not anyone else's fight. So that's what she's saying. So exactly what I said. What it concerns me, if she's happy to be called a side chick, why would I get offended on her behalf? That's her problem. It's not mine. But if you're calling me a side chick, then we are going to have issues. So that's the difference. So now going back
to you fight for only yourself.
No, it's not a matter of fight for only myself, but if the woman is happy, why am I going to go and fight for somebody who is happy? Does it make any kind of sense?
So
someone is in her husband's house and is talking to her sideways, and you're telling her, is this one okay? And she's like, I'm happy. I love it like this. I like to be spoken to. Which one is not my own to now say, no, you must not like it. Get out. You must leave. Which one is, does it make any sense? Doesn't it
Okay,
make any sense for me
no
to say,
problem.
no, you are not happy? She's telling me very categorically that she is happy. And I'm telling her, no, she's not happy. Who am I?
Okay, I'm happy for her. But let's go to the main issue about 40 is the new 20.
Like to
I
bring
forgot I was
nonsense
supposed to
in
say
your mind.
something. No, I wanted to talk about it now. This 40
Okay.
is the new, this 40 is the new 20. Actually,
Dr.
when
Senu, join us.
when you
Yeah, for
mentioned the topic, I actually checked. I've always wanted to discuss this because some years back, I was doing photo editing for some people. I was converting photos from black and white to color for some people who sent the photograph. So I was just looking at them, photos from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Now, you know what I discovered? Those forebearers look older than us at this age. I'll explain.
definitely.
You see, in those photographs, you see a man that is 30 years old, right? The skin is already hardened at that time. It looks older than what is obtainable of a 30-year-old today. Yeah, I understand that there's a lot of genes and hereditary transfers that play a role in all this. But it's, I didn't just assume. I took my time to start going back in time, checking people. I looked at politicians that were ruling Nigeria and how old they said they were at that time. And I'm comparing them to people in their 40s today. The people in 40s today look more childish than those guys were back then in appearance, not
Therefore,
necessarily
In
in
appearance.
intellect.
Thank you.
In appearance, yeah, they look more childish. And again, not just in childishness, those people had more sense of responsibility than this generation. What I mean is that somebody can boldly come out and say he was contesting something or wants to run for something at the age of 35, and it was so profound that people will not snicker or laugh when the person says it, because the whole society understands that this person is a man. Like when you finish secondary school, those days, like in Bobby College, they wore shorts. When you're in secondary school, men wore shorts. As soon as you finish secondary school and you start wearing transferring, the transition from shorts to trouser was something very significant back then. It's not a fashion, it wasn't a fashion statement. It was more of like a man has come. And that man was really treated like a man. And he had the responsibility and bearing of being a mature man from that age. From that age of 19, 20, 21, the entire society respects that former boy as a man, and he carries himself with a certain level of dignity then. But today we find ourselves, we are trying to reverse age. Even me, I'll be wearing jeans and trainers,
And what are you supposed to
trying to
wear?
feel young.
I don't understand. What are you supposed to wear? Bembe or what?
Great, now. I'm going to
I showed
I'm giving you
you.
a contrast. I'm giving you a
I don't
contrast. I'm
understand.
giving you
What
a
is he
contrast.
supposed to be wearing?
Wait, I'm giving you a contrast. I'm presenting a contrast
Oh
from
my
what was.
days!
Can I finish? Can I finish? Okay. So
This why
I'm presenting.
this why he's supposed to be walking around in aquala trouser. Sorry, we are finished. Continue.
Yeah, done. Okay. So I'm projecting a contrast here from what was happening then now. And today, and let me even give you one that will make you shocked. When we were younger, when our parents or somebody tells that, oh, see this former musician, this was the musician that was reigning that time. At the time you are seeing that musician, you can see that the musician has actually aged, and he looks like a father figure from from that era. Now, I still dress I still dress like some of the rappers I knew. Some of the rappers I knew from the 90s. As a matter of fact, it's difficult convincing our children that, oh, this person was rapping like 30 years ago or 40 years ago, because he still dresses in that hip hop, yuppie way. And again, we've been exposed to exercise. We now exercise, we do fitness. a lot of us do exercises to look younger, I don't know whether it's to rejuvenate our skin or I don't know. But for some reason, some of our physical activity is reversing how we age. We don't age like it was before. I don't know if I'm the only one making this observation. Anybody watching can leave
What
it in the
we eat
comment
too,
section.
what we put into our bodies, we are very aware of it.
Do you think we are more conscious than those? Because those who are eating organic, we are eating GMO now.
But
So
they
I don't
ate a
think
lot
food
of
is it.
oil, they ate a lot of fat, ate a lot of meat. We don't eat that anymore. We don't, a lot of
So,
us don't
say,
eat like
any
that.
other professor is about to talk about me.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr.
I like
Malek,
the
can you tell him
direction.
to stop calling you the erudite professor?
We will fight very soon. But you know I'm new. So you know I will remove my box. But wait, I always say to people that those who have children, especially men who have children, they age faster than men who don't. Every day they call you daddy, daddy. They take a whole 24 hours away from your life. And you become older. The responsibilities are the things that are aging you. That's one. Two. If you look at the generation before or two generations before us, that living together and the proximity of father, grandfather, and great grandfather always has that continuity. The clothes the grandfather wore will most likely be passed on to the father, and then the father will leave to the children. What happens today is that there is a discontinuity. Most of us do not live near our parents. Our parents do not live near their parents. So there is always this gap that as soon as you leave, you begin to create your own fashion statement, and it depends on where you are. You can see me here, you see, complete with beads, not even one, two safe, right? And I live in America. I live in Florida. When school is over and I wear jeans, people in my department will say, "Oh, Dr. Jola, you are wearing normal clothes now." So I would look, I say, "You mean this one is not normal?"
It's
And they say,
costume.
"No, we don't mean it like that. We don't mean it like that. We're just saying that we are." But that is fashion for you. There are some of us, especially those in the diaspora, we want to blend in. And blending in is very economic. It helps you assimilate very quickly. You have a dark skin, but at least you're wearing clothes. They know the designer. You know that in America, as soon as you wear anything, they can go to the internet and tell you how much it is. Nobody has been able to tell me how much this agbada is.
Exactly.
They have no clue. But
Every Friday, I try to wear native because I tell them it's not a costume. Don't ever call what I wear a costume.
yes, so you're
Sorry,
either
sir.
blending in or standing
Sorry,
out.
sir. Anytime you are coming again, sir, just give me like 2 days notice because I have to become my notebook. I can't just be sitting down. I need to come with notebook. Hey, just 2 days prior
No,
notice. So I'll be putting it down.
if you look at some of these things sociologically, if you look at it, you would understand why the way you're dressed. If you go to your school's game or you go to the musical, all the fathers there will be like this. Will be dressed like you, and you don't have to explain yourself. If I go there now, I am always looked at as an outcast. But I'm happy with it. I'm a Jebu. I cannot because if I buy any of these designer thing, they know whether I bought it in the thrift shop or I bought it at Tiaroba. But I can cover myself with this, make a statement. And what does that do to my age? I have refused. All my brothers use dye. In this department, there are no old men in my department. They all either shave their hair totally and shave their beard so that the white doesn't come. I advertise mine. I use it as a banner. to say, I'm an old man and I'm old, and I can see the benefits that comes with age. Abby doesn't believe it, but she doesn't believe it in one hand. Then in the other hand, you see, no white yet. It will come.
No, it's there. Abby
It's coming. But we need a magnifying glass to see it.
We need magnifying glass to see your own. When you're talking old white hair, you two are coming to talk. Come on, put on your cap.
It's when I started dealing with Abby, I started growing black and white hair.
When they're talking white hair, you two, you came with your heads. Don't let me knock you from this place.
Abby doesn't like old men because she feels that they might just kaput.
I beg, I cannot stand the right statement at the police station.
But I hear what you're saying, my brother, about what we looked like in those days and what we look like now. Do we look older in this day and age? Do we look younger? There are all tricks of looking younger. You know, if I shave this away, and everybody says if I take my beard away and I dye my hair, I would not look the 62 I am at all. You know?
At all.
And there are lots of men now who also, you know, they accept the invitation to go to the spa. They go there, they do things, they massage and stuff, and they look, because it all has to do with the wherewithal. It has to do with the financial ability. In the days that you're talking about, in the days of our parents, you know that we didn't have access to capital to build houses. There were no mortgages or any of those things. Hire purchase was the one in which the Europeans brought. And the Nigerian spirit quickly liquidated them. Because hire purchase is built on trust. And trust does not exist outside of a community, because it is tied to shame. But if somebody from outside gives you hire purchase, you have all the right in the world to cheat the person and walk away. But you cannot walk away within your community if somebody gives you something for hire purchase. So they all had to work very hard. They all worked hard. But the thing that I find interesting is that they lived in close proximity to their parents. I don't know how many people my generation lived more than 25 years with their parents. We quickly disengage, we quickly leave, and then we start our own life. So that's what I would say to fashion, age, and the economics of it.
That's the thing. You can't. You're very right, Dr. Kola. You can't gauge today's world with the society or the world of our grandparents or even our parents. Things have changed drastically, and that's the thing. And that's where sometimes I get a bit exasperated with Ron, because Ron is like, in the olden days. I'm like, were you there? Were you there in the olden days? That you're shouting in the olden days. You were not there. That's their time is gone, and this is the time we're in now. And this is what is happening. We eat differently. We live differently. There's so many things that we do differently, and it affects who we are. And yes, maybe a boy will finish secondary school and he will go through a passing of rights, and then he'll be regarded as a man. But now we do know for a fact that anyone who is under 18 is still a child. They're not an adult. They're not a man. And at least that has brought more protection, because you will see that a lot of people will be saying that, oh, we got messed up in the head because of how our parents treated us. They treated us as if we were adults and everything, and we weren't. We were still children, and we had to take on a lot of responsibility. And that goes back to what I was saying about so many men dying in their prime, dying in their 50s, in their early 60s, because they have all this weight on their shoulders. And then they die and they leave the wife that they are 10, 15 years older than to be a widow. And then this same society that you're talking about, society, will be the one looking at the woman and say, let's see when she's going to remarry. And every time that woman even let a man come near and just drop water near her house, hey, everybody is talking. Hey, we knew she
Sorry.
was one that killed her husband.
At what point? Wait. At what point did I use society as the pressure point? Did I use society? I
Dr.
didn't.
Kole, thank God at least your erudite professor was here when he heard you when you were talking and you said society. Did he say
Okay.
society? Did he say society? Because I don't like to argue this kind of thing. He will not talking as he is talking. Please, did he say
Hold on.
society? Wait,
I'm
see, let
talking.
Dr. Kole answer.
Okay.
Did he say society or not when he was talking earlier?
Who?
Ron.
I wasn't paying 100% attention.
I wasn't even lying.
Okay, let me even ask him. Don't worry, you remember. Let me ask him. When I was stating the question for Hamza, when I was laying the parameters, did I include societal pressure or I mentioned social?
No, not for Hamza. When you were asking
Wait,
me,
wait. I said that in testing your theory, we are going to use the female biological clock and the society, the economic standard today in selecting the age and this. I didn't even say anything
no,
society
I'm
there.
not saying to Hamza. I'm saying when you were talking to me, you use society.
About what? About
You
what?
said that the way the society is, that that society has said that this is what the man will be, this is what the woman will be, and you were asking me this when I said that one of the reasons why I don't agree that women should be marrying men who are older than them, especially the kind of age gap that was in the time of our parents. A lot of our parents got married to men who were, a lot of our mothers got married to men who were 10 years, 15 years older than them. And then these men die. And these men don't live long. They don't live long. I was reading something recently on Twitter where a guy was saying he went through his village in the east and all he saw were houses by widows. And all the men did not even reach 70. They die off. And that's why I'm like, look, these men are, number one, old. They don't have a great lifespan. They take on too much. So why wouldn't it make sense to marry a younger man? So at least that way, that man has more time, on earth with you than 20 years, 30 years widowhood. Especially in a society that will look at that woman again, and if she dares to try to remarry, it's about her hair. We knew she was the one who killed her husband. Or imagine she has children. She now wants to go and remarry. And we know that society does this. So why are we talking as if society doesn't? So that's part of my reasoning for saying, you know what? I think it's important for women to marry someone who is younger than someone who is older. It just makes a lot of biological and,
Biological
long life
sense. Do you listen to yourself?
biological and long life sense.
Do you listen to
Dr.
yourself?
Kole said, why do they die of? Dr. Kole, I don't know why they die. Oh, they just die. Why they went to go and marry something that is beyond their power?
And people want to
and then there is
and people wonder about growing gray hair. People wonder about growing gray hair.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, and Dr. Kole said the traditional society allows for the widow to be taken care of by siblings. But what if she doesn't want the siblings to stay? What if she wants to go off and be with someone else?
Well,
it's a system. It's a system, madam.
Yeah, Abby, let's first say that, because what you're saying is that the widows are ostracized.
Most of the time.
Eh?
Most of the time, not all the time.
Okay, now the widows most of the time are ostracized. But that negates the fact that there has been something in place. There's been a traditional system of which the woman herself decides not to comply with. right? So whatever happens, you don't go to the kitchen if you can't stand the heat of the kitchen. You got married, you need to. That's why in Yoruba, there is no sentence like "I love you." You have to say, "I have your
So,
love in my heart."
sir, can you put that on rewind again? I didn't hear that part of rewind. Just repeat it again.
There
So,
is no sentence like "I love you." It is "I have your love in my heart." And the lover in Yoruba is the master of love. So what it means is that it is an assumption that the woman knows what she's getting into. At the beginning, that day when they wash your leg in front of the house, before you come into a Yoruba family, they tell you that you're not married to your husband alone, but you're married to who? You're married to the family. A
that's what they
woman
don't want
has
to
a
hear.
right. A woman
No,
has the right,
nobody said nobody wants to hear that.
Abby, I agree with you to say a woman has a right to be a radical. But every radical knows that there are consequences. They just
But
simply
Dr.
make
Kali,
yes.
I want to ask, in Yoruba land, I know that is something that happens in Kwara, maybe in some parts of the east. When Yoruba land, when a man dies, his brother doesn't take over his wife. Oh, I've never heard
Well,
of that.
there is a provision. If in modern times it's not happening again, there is a provision that the siblings can make an overture to the woman. She has a right to refuse. But when she refuses, there are consequences. It is that
In Yoruba
consequence.
land,
Huh?
in Yoruba land.
Yes, yes.
Eh, I
I mean,
didn't know that.
look at
In
the
African culture.
Wait, let's him talk now.
the Kabiyesi that has just died.
Assistant
All those
Professor.
women are of the palace. The new Oba would inherit them all. He has a right to let them go, but he also has a right to take them all. Now, this is the reason. If you've ever read Death and the King's Horseman, he tries to explain the reason why the Abobaku would have to die with the king. The secrets of governance is mostly private. The reason why the Oba took a decision, if you look underneath it, you see that there's something private about it. And once a society does not have secrets, it cannot be properly governed. In modern times, the MI15, the CIA, they constantly are paying that the secrets we are trying to keep is open to the government. And secrets have a role, the secret societies. The reason why women were banished from Oro was because they said you cannot combine being a goddess that can bring about children and at the same time know the history behind the kingship. You would have too much power. If you know that if you were part of the kingmakers,
So they were terrified of us after all.
but that is the whole theory of thingification. If men were not afraid or frightened of women, they would not objectify them.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is not. That's nothing to the whole history.
No, because people like Ron make us as if we don't have sense in our head.
Well, that in itself is his own. I mean, every man has to defend himself, or else the women will just take you to the cleaners. They have the power, and that is why in the king's palace they banish them from where decisions are taken. Because once they know who owns, because there are people who own the land that do not know the history, and they are dispossessed of it. So there is a power in knowledge, and the only way in traditional society. So coming back to the point, why don't the women, why don't they allow them to marry out? Because you will be taking the secret of that family out. The Canadians did a small research. They compared a Canadian family with a Yoruba family in terms of the economics. That the reason why Brother Taylor has 3 wives is because those 3 wives are 3 extended markets. And the guy in Canada, instead of when he wants to start his business, he will go to the bank, very impersonal, and they will do a feasibility study for him. But Brother Carpenter doesn't need that. He has 3 wives already. So all of these things are, we don't make a song and dance of them. It is only when they break down, like when the woman is not allowed, like you said, for another man to come and bring water, then there is hoo-ha. It is because they are trying to protect their, in quotes, their family franchise. That woman will take something away and go and give to another family, and will bring something from that family into their family too. So there are some of these things, we've discontinued them, but when we now do comparative analysis of what is happening in other places and see us, we begin to understand it. The whites prefer to have mistresses because they are totally cut out from the family. You don't take your mistress to Christmas party. No.
You won't die.
So there's a reason. There's a reason. But in our own, that is when you come to introduce her to the family. There are pros and cons of it. I hear you about the way we have treated our widows, you know. But
It's disgusting.
it's disgusting because look, you know that you don't prepare for war during war. You prepare for war during peace. Most of the women,
No, sorry, I just wanted to repeat again that place where you said women are goddesses and therefore that's why they're not allowed to join Oro. I just
of
want to
course,
hear it again.
that's an open Abby, that's an open secret. That is the
No, because some people need to hear it on this forum. There's a particular
Abby,
that need to
Abby,
hear
see
it on this forum.
your fan don't break the table and it's really over. You don't scatter your table, pata. Wait, let me read
No,
what you said.
there's a particular somebody that needs to hear this.
Wait, hold
Again,
on.
that's our opinion. I read it and I was like, yeah, right. That's our opinion.
Let's read
Doesn't
it
see
slowly.
how
Hold on.
many people has she seen that are married to younger men
Can
that
we read
look
the
older?
comments before you start talking? Let's read it first.
Okay.
You see?
Tatimino Silva said, you see, if a woman, but I'm still coming, doctor, you have to repeat that line, I beg. If a woman marries a man younger than she is, by the time she starts having children, she will look much older than the man. The man can then decide to date a younger woman. That's not true. On what study is that? How many
Sorry,
young older women do you see that are older than their husbands?
Wait.
Dr. Mole, please don't go away. Oh.
Wait. I'm going to ask you a question. This statement was made by a woman. Not just a woman. Made by, hold on, made by a mature woman who was, I know her, so I don't need to say. Here's the thing. We are guys, we are seated on this platform. There are things we know as guys, right? When she said the comment, this is something a man cannot boldly say publicly. But what she said is the truth. We can't say it in society because we'll be vilified. Do you get? We know
How many,
that
and
it
this is
happens.
the question I'm asking, how many older women married to younger men does she know to make this assumption? You are using the benchmark. How many of older women married to younger men with children look older? Again, we are coming back and saying 40 is the new 20. So women are taking care of themselves, whether they have children or they don't have children. So they're taking care of themselves. They're looking and irrespective, you still see that women of If a woman is 40 and a man is 40, that woman will still look younger than that 40-year-old man, even though both of them look young. And this is whether they have children or they don't have children. So, in what fault then is it
You know
that
why I won't go?
how did this statement come by?
Okay.
What
You know
was
why I
the
won't
what
go
was
into?
the
Okay, hold on. You know why I will go into the argument of 40 or 20 years old male and female? Because this has a lot. Studies have shown it has a lot to do with genetics. So I don't want to dabble into what I don't know. I know it's genetics, hereditary traits, and all that. So I can't debate that. But what I'm telling you for fact is that there are many men, as soon as they feel. Let me give you an example. The photo I uploaded, the photo on the poster of this thing. You notice some women who now do bodybuilding, they are looking fine, they are looking fresh, right? If I told you that if any of them were dating younger men, yeah, the sex might be great, yes, they might have nice companionship and all that, but it still does not erase from the eyes of that man, Abby. It
I'm here,
still
I'm
does
here.
not erase. Okay, it still does not erase from the eyes of that man the fact that he knows that he's with an older person and he has option of going for somebody much younger. Again, it's in the mind of the man.
But
What you
that's
are trying to
one
do?
of men going to go with other women. That one doesn't is not determined by age. Even old papa that has no business being near women, he will still leave his wife at home and go and carry his daughter's age mate.
And
So,
that is exactly what
and
she's.
we've
That's
seen
exactly what she
instances
just
where
said.
some men will go and they will leave their young wives for older women. So what is the who made the benchmark that a woman will be older because she has children? Women are snatching their bodies back.
Abby, this is not about. You know what you're doing. Let me tell you what you're doing.
What am I
You
doing
have
now?
an idea. You have a brilliant idea, right? You have a brilliant idea and theory. But what you are doing now is that you are now imposing it to the public that this is the way it must be. And I'm telling you that
How have
this
I
is what's
imposed
going
it?
on.
I said my own theory for me. Oh, when I
No,
started this
not
thing,
that
I said
one.
for
No, not
me.
the,
I never said this for everybody.
no, not
Never.
this one you're saying. No, wait, not this one. We're debating the comments now. I told you that this comment, coming from a man's perspective, what she's saying is actually true, right? You
Okay,
said
wait.
it's
Let
not
Doctor
true.
yeah, Doctor Kole,
Okay. Dr.
waiting
Kole,
because
please
I never said
switch
it
off
for
one of your
everybody.
devices. Wait. Sorry, sir. Can you switch off mute one of your devices? It's echoing. Either
And while we are
if
waiting,
you're
she said,
on YouTube, wait, if
Matarazzi
you're on
said,
YouTube,
oh, okay.
sir,
Matarazzi
if you're on
said,
YouTube, let me explain to him. Let me tell him. If you're on
okay.
YouTube, mute the microphone. If you're on YouTube, mute the microphone. Leave the StreamYard to continue. Mute your YouTube, then talk. Unmute
Dr.
yourself.
Kole,
Unmute yourself.
unmute yourself. Let me.
YouTube on.
Sorry?
I don't have YouTube on.
Okay, you are
It's
fine now.
Mr.
Yes, you can
H.
talk.
It's Mr. H. Okay, let me just
Mr. H
quickly
is
read the
muted.
statements. Isn't that equating women to property, inheritance? So that's what Martha is saying regarding Dr. Kole's statement. And then Simininu said, it is very, very true that if a woman marries a younger man, she will look much older than the man when she starts having children. I'm talking about a research done. Okay, if that's
All
a
right.
research you've done, but I
Okay.
don't believe that. And then Matarazzi says, of course, Abby, the whole essence of patriarchy is the fear of women. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Kole.
Let me quickly treat the property part of it. I don't. You see, when we talk traditional or what I understand to be ibile, born from our land, people tend to bring in Western lenses to look at it. What is the attitude of non-Western people to property? Property and the whole idea of intellectual property, real estate property, was constructed to fit a particular economic trend. We do not see ourselves as that. In Yoruba culture that I know and study, there's always this talk about complementarity. We are not, and it is in Nigeria that I heard that if the man is the head of a family, the woman is the neck that is turning the head. That is one side. Nobody ever contests that. Now, are you going to contest that your head is more important than the neck? Let's leave that aside. Mrs. BC Oguleye would always tell us, a man sees a snake, a woman sees a snake. Who cares? Let the snake die. We don't want to now go on debating a man killed the snake or a woman killed the snake. We have lived in a complementarity world. We have never been in competition with our women. And that's why I would always tell people, can you be angry and be randy at the same time? Can that masquerade that has been terrorizing everybody come home with that fiery eyes and come and want to make love to Yakudi? It's not possible. He has to do what men do. He will bow like that and behave himself, and Manakudi will do what she likes to do. So we know it. Forget this idea of property. It is just that let us do it the way we do it so that we will get the results that we get. When we don't do it the way we should do it, then we don't get the results that we get. And then you start running helter-skelter to the West to say the woman has been made a property. You forget the whole foreground that I told you, that when that woman was coming into the family, they told her, that you are going to be married to the family and not to our son alone. If you did not want to be that, you should not have gone into it at all. Anyway, that aside, let me bring in one dimension that I've not heard the two of you who seem to live in the postmodern era and tends to see things from empirical lenses alone, things that are observable and that are measurable. And you seem to be very comfortable with it. Those are all your... But I think, Abby, if I take Abby to the metaphysical and the spiritual side of existence, you probably will begin to come along with me that when a man and a woman repel each other or they separate, it is not only that the woman has aged or her body has become something. You know, they say like poles attract and then do what? Attack. Unlike poles attract and then attack. This is where they say the taken for grantedness. When two people have lived for so long together, they tend to take each other for granted. And then they grow, they outgrow each other. It is not because of the physique of the woman, and it is not because of the physique of the man. There might be other things that are in operation. That small girl that you're saying that has paid attention, that the man is paying attention to, sometimes she's emitting certain charges which the man cannot overcome if he has not fortified himself. So there are some things when it comes to male-female relationship, when a man walks away, the women tend to think that they look at their bodies. They do not look at their spirituality, their essence. I told everybody that what saved men from being controlled like by puppets were the psychologists and the advertisers that have constantly relocated the power of women from their inside to their faces. The very moment advertising started to tell women, you are pretty, you can be more beautiful, and they started competing with themselves. They forgot that the essence, the power, is the interior. And I will give you just one example before I bore you all silly. If you know that the children of Israel will tell you, that when women are menstruating, they will go into the red tent, right? The equivalent of that is that when a plane wants to take off, they will ask you to shut off your phone because the electrostatic charges there might affect the charges of a plane.
Right.
It is the same thing with the women. When they are renewing themselves, the core of the blood, the core of hemoglobin is iron. Please go and read about iron itself and how much it affects everything. You have heard it before. Women who do not know each other from Adam will start working in the same place, and there will be a synchronicity in their periods. Is any are the women stopping to reason, to analyze, to understand what is happening? Can they turn that into positive power? No. Advertising and psychology has not allowed them. So anytime there is a dissolution or a separation, or the man walks his way, the woman, we tend to look at just the physical and forget that they did not even come together by 100% their choice. Something happened. Go and I attend a lot of weddings, and the portion I want to hear is how the bride and the groom met. If you analyze the story, you would always see serendipity. That girl was not going to go to that party until somebody said, look, you go and give this letter to somebody, and that's how she found her husband. That is not to do that.
So, Dr. Colley, going back to what Sister Timininu Silva then said. I mean, she said, if a woman marries a younger man, she will look much older than the man when she starts having children. Again, this she said is a research, and I said I don't believe it, because again, how many people have this research?
Abby, you can't be saying. Wait,
No, I don't believe it. I'm not saying that the research isn't there. Wait. Let me finish now.
Because,
I'm not saying that the research isn't there. I didn't say the research isn't there. I said I don't believe that research, because again, research can be limited and it can be broad. Because I just don't believe that because someone is having babies by a younger man, she now starts to look much older. I mean, there are many people who are married to whatever kind of man. They have children, and the way their body comes, again, biology, the way their body comes back together, you won't even know that they have children. You see them and their children, be like, are those your siblings? So to now say, because so and
before
you
before doctor talks, I want to add something. This is a public show, right? If somebody comes with research, just like when Ice Speed came with his research and told us where to go find it, I have my beliefs, right? Sometimes I don't like those results. Personally, I don't like it. But because it's a research, I tend to always humble myself and say, okay, because they've conducted. Not that because I've 100% accepted, but because I want a situation whereby we can flow with science. Statistics, data science is a science. That statistics is a data science. Do you understand? If they say it's so, it's not like when what's her name? Maymoon brought that statistics that showed that men are now becoming more than women in today's model. Can you remember that day?
Yeah.
I didn't like that statistics. Yeah, I didn't like it, but because it's data science, I had to keep my feelings down and accept it for what it is. Do you understand? So if you say what you can do, however, if you are in disagreement, you can say, okay, please, madam, can you send us the statistics so I can see for myself? Do you understand? Then you will go through it. Then maybe you might change your mind later. But let's not throw away everybody's. Do you get where I'm coming from?
I'm not throwing it
Mr.
away.
Ron,
I said personally.
Mr. Ron, there is another way. There is another way to research.
I said personally, I don't believe now. No, be say I say it is not true.
I can help you, Abby. I can help you. When you hear of a research like that, there is a very simple way to discredit it. You can ask, what was the sample size
Exactly.
of the result? Now, if they give you the sample size and it looks like it's something, you can now go for the second question and say, how representative is that sample against the general population? There are ways to discredit any even the best done research. You can discredit it. If somebody comes and says, really, I have also heard it that when women give birth, of course, the birth canal will start. It's not elastic, and that's why in North Africa, when a woman gives birth, they have herbs. You will sit on that fire, and it will tighten every of those things that are loose. If they're doing that, then it means that they accept the fact that sometimes women change. They change physically, they change psychologically. There's even something called psychosis pregnancy. People who get pregnant and they go off their rockers.
Yeah. I know someone who
Pregnancy induced psychosis.
One person.
Huh?
I said I know one person, just one person.
There is pregnancy induced psychosis.
She gave birth and she was actually changed to her bed.
Yes, there is so it is. We can't run away from the fact that women change, but I think I heard Mr. Ron say you need sometimes knowledge and money to make sure that you come back to yourself after pregnancy, and that's why a lot of in the West, they take antenatal very seriously, and they take postnatal as seriously as antenatal. But in places where you have to give birth, within 3 weeks you go back to work. All of those things that you're supposed to do, you don't do them. And if you have a second attempt, the thing you didn't do before, it will just fester. So it is not a lie that it is possible for an older woman who has been having children and not taking care of herself physically to actually look aged. That's what pregnancy does. Pregnancy is not a disease, but it has hormones. The hormones that are secreted remain partly in the body until they disintegrate. So
I totally agree. I agree with what you said, Dr. K. And this is why I was saying I personally don't believe, because when you look at society where women who are older marry men who are younger, it's not usually in our home country now. Because even the family go talk, the talk where they go talk on top of your head, say, you want to go marry a younger man. So it's usually in Western, even if the people are from our home countries, is when they moved out of the vicinity of family and that kind of thing, that they can say, oh, okay, I'll marry a younger man. And it means that they themselves are of a certain economic, at least it is yes, of a certain economic standing. And it means that if they are of a certain economic standing and they know that they're marrying a younger man, then they know that I have to take care of myself. So that's how I was like, I struggle with that research. I'm not saying that the research does not exist, and I'm not saying that that it wasn't done. I just struggle with it, because just quickly thinking about it, that doesn't sound true. Because when you think about women now, going back to the topic that we're talking about, who in their 40s are looking like in their 20s, and then that 40-year-old woman goes to marry a younger man, and she now doesn't take care of herself, it's a problem. It's hard for me. I'm not saying
wait.
Okay,
wait, let me show you something. Abby, can you see this picture? Can you look at it?
I'm looking at the picture, yeah.
You see the one 64 years, the other one 81, and the other one 42.
Yeah.
Why is this photo shocking to people who look at it? Why is it like a shocking thing? Why is that when people see it, they marvel at these photos?
I don't understand the question.
The reason why these women are models, right, is because they've been able to defy the norm. You understand? People don't expect women to look like this at these ages that have been sampled. But these women, for some reason, maybe through diet or through fitness, have been able to defy the norm. So now they are now like models. They are models we're looking at as, this is possible. It's not a common thing. That's what we're trying to point out here. It's not a common thing. It's not a general thing. But this is an exception. Now, if we bring it back to our personal lives, you and I know that women who pass a certain age actually do look older, right? In general, in general, without even thinking too far, you can even use within your family setting, your friend circle, you know that they look older. I'm not saying men don't look old. That's not the
No,
debate. We're
me
not
and
saying
I
men don't
both
look
know
old.
Candy. Candy doesn't look older at all. She looks like a child.
Hey, don't personalize.
No, but you're the one who said to look in my family. Now, not be
No,
passing at me now.
hold on, Abby. Even Candy is an exception. Candy that we know is an exception. She's not the normal her age. She's an exception. That's what I'm trying to explain. There are exceptions to the rules, but let's not dwell on the minor. Let's enter with this. Let's take the general view. Me, I have my own personal views on some of these things. Even this Dr. Timinunu, she's a research fellow. You know, that's why I was laughing when you were saying what you were saying. Actually, that's her job. That's what she does for a living.
Fine.
No, Ron, what you know what I wait, Ron, what I said earlier. If you what I said earlier when I started,
No,
I
not
said,
you, not you.
no, I
No,
tell you
let
just
Mr. H talk. He's
yeah,
talking to you.
what I said to you earlier when we started this thing was that I told you nowadays women have, or not only women, even men have realized that even when they are older and they are stress free and they begin to take good care of their body, they last long. They become, that is why you see those pictures. I told you of a man that I met at the mechanic shop that is over 80. That is what he told me. If any woman, whether you have 5 kids or 10 kids, and you are 50 or you are 40 or 45, if you begin to take good care of yourself and you make sure that you're stress free, you begin to do things that you enjoy, things that will make you happy. There is no way you will not look happier because it's
And
called a
younger.
maintenance culture. Even if you have something and you take good care of it, you will have it forever. The way you maintain it. That is why I gave you an example of that lady in Nigeria that said to me, I have given birth to 3 children and blah 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 blah. And my husband, and I said to the woman, "Let me tell you, because I've been in South Africa for a while, and
Mr.
if you
H, don't go
compare,
there.
no, wait, I am Abby. I'm telling you the truth, Abby. I am telling you the truth. I'm not somebody
Oh
that come and
no.
tell you. I'm not somebody that come here to tell you something that I don't know, that I have not seen before. You will see women with 3 kids here, they will be as if they are 21. If you see kids, there are women that we have 4 kids, you think they are 25. It's because one, they take good care of themselves onto their counterpart. A Nigerian woman sometimes they'll give birth to two, they'll be like they won't take care of themselves. We need to be true to ourselves.
Hamza, this is the
Somebody
question
said,
here.
somebody, no, it's
Wait,
not, that
wait,
is not
Hamza,
fallacy.
this is
We
the
need
issue.
to understand, you need to wait, you need to understand. I have seen, Ron, am I lying?
Wait, I'm coming. I want
But
to
he will
answer your
tell you that
question. Let me answer.
those
I'm coming.
are
I'm coming. I want to ask you a
what does he
question.
call them?
All you
Minority
said is
reports.
what all of
You
sorry.
said what?
All
He
you
said
said
it's
is what all
minority
of us have
reports.
said.
No.
Let me talk now. Wait. All you said is what all of us have said, but this is the real question. The real question is, what is the percentage of these people you are talking about in the general public? They are in the minority. This is what we are discussing. That's why I brought the pictures of those women to show that it is possible. Yes, it's possible. But to live this kind of life, you have to be disciplined, eat healthy, and you need money. That's where I'm going with. And I like why you said that the woman took care of herself, that she structured her life and everything. It's true. But guess what? It's minority of the population that look like that. Anytime we walk to the mall, we see older women. We know how they look like. We see older men. We know how they look like. It's not the general public. And that's why anytime we bring up pictures of these people, we open our jaws. We drop our jaws and say, wow, are you really six? Is that like when Ice Speed came here and Ice Speed told us that he's 56 years old? Did you see the way everybody is shouting, because it's not what we expect to see. We're not used to it. Ice Speed is in the minority. That's what we're going with. Am I making sense to everybody now? Have I been able to explain myself?
Do you want a bit of theory?
Okay, sir. You know, I'm all for theory. I'm all for theory.
There's something in media studies we call priming.
Dr. Kole, before you start, please, can I quickly read the comments? So, Matharazi said, well, I'm 39. Sorry, I have a child and I do not look 39. 36. Sorry, that's a fallacy. So she was talking about the research. And she said, looking old is a result of habits, cultural and personal. And then since Agnes Agjai said, I'm 59 looking 30. And then Matharazi said, when we were talking about patriarchy, these are stories that patriarchy promotes. Biko, talk about childbearing. I'll agree, that's biological. Then Sister Agnes said, Dr. Colley, they use chewing sticks for women to choose or shoes for the woman to pick, and she might not be lucky to get the man she loves. Then Martha said, oh, please, property as in goats, cattle. I'm not using Western ideology. Well, this is Yoruba tradition that I can't. It is different in my ethnic culture. And then I'm just going to the last one. It said, you can find facts to prove anything you want, though. Okay. So, yes, sorry. I just wanted to read all the comments out.
Well, over a long time, we've talked about what is called priming. And this is that in primetime television, you can hardly see a plus-size woman. And I want you to look back, especially American first ladies. If you find any first lady that is plus size, they are always slim, and this is what is sold to the general populace. All the models have a particular thing, because without that, without selling that body size and shape to the generality of the people, then their products will not sell. They know that there is no such woman in America that looks like the models. In fact, they even go to the extent of airbrushing just so that they can entice the women to want to look in a particular way. It's all economics. So these models that you brought and their ages, it's all, I told you that the day advertising and psychology came into the picture or came into the bed was when women were screwed. They have not found the satisfaction. I have not met a woman yet who is satisfied with her look. She wants something else. And one of the comedians, you remember, said, why do men even bother to want to satisfy women? That Papa God will make themselves. He gave them eyebrows, they shaved it up and wrote their own. Gave them earlocks, they took it off and put their own. So they are constantly in the industry of body alteration so that it will look like the dream woman they have. And I don't know any one of them that has attained it. But that is why that industry keeps growing. I see what you mean. All these women, you know, a long time ago I had been told women and wine are never to be dated. You see one woman, don't ever make a mistake of saying hello ma, because she might be very young. And then you see another one that is young and you want to treat her like she's a teenager. The petite ones, especially, they look ageless.
Yeah.
Now, what Mr. H has been saying is that it is maintenance. That they're maintaining themselves, they're going to the gym, they're going to Zumba. On my street, every morning, an 89-year-old woman, she goes walking up and down in the name of exercising. And I say, Mama, you won't die for road? But it is what it is. I took a photograph of a woman. I didn't tell her. She said, Colin, never in your life take my photo like that. That tell me you want to take my photo so I can suck in my belly. I'm telling you a real story. So she can suck in her belly. And then I said, what is wrong with the belly? He said, the society, again, the people around do not like a woman with big belly. So they want women with flat bellies. So they are all running towards getting a flat belly. And some of them will never get it. The only thing I always say, those of you who are saying, he saw a young girl and went after the young girl and left the woman at home. Madam has big belly. Oga has big belly. What kind of relationship do you expect?
Big belly.
So the man with big belly will go and look for little shorty that has not started to grow belly. But I tell you,
it doesn't even matter. Madam can look amazing. But you see, man, I will never understand.
It's just like men too will never understand women. But I can tell you,
great. And you will see this man, you still go and because I have seen pictures of men who will leave their wives and then they go and get side chick, and I see the side chick and I'm like, how?
Do you know? Can you remember? I was Schwarzenegger. You know, I was Schwarzenegger. Arnold.
Yeah.
You know the wife.
Yeah.
Maria Shriver.
Very, very slim, Abby. Mm-hmm. Do you know the woman that had a son for him?
I remember. It was a travesty.
But the woman had flesh. The wife at home did not have.
And she was not even as pretty as the wife at home.
Forget pretty, my dear. Forget pretty. Now pretty will go down.
Let me even explain this part for Abby, because I see most women don't understand. Abby, are you aware that? Can you remember the gentleman that was killed by his side chick then last year in Nigeria?
Yes, the owner of the television station.
Yes, he was killed by his side chick. Then people went to dig out the photo of his wife. He said, she's tall, she's sexy, she has a very good job, she's a big woman. And I'm like, this is where women get it wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Men are not moved by all those things. It's probably possible that he's enjoying his good time with that side chick, and the wife at home is a battle axe. They can't coexist. Hold on. Beauty is not only physical.
Can we just say that men are busy? Can we just, instead of finding an excuse, men are busy?
Hold on. You can only feed a child as much as the child is willing to open a baby, as much as the baby is willing to open his or her mouth. You cannot keep funking food. If the guy is telling you something that he doesn't want this thing, and you keep doing it repetitively, it's going to produce an outcome, and beauty will not save the outcome. And this is why I preach every time.
Talk about beauty. Look, let me tell you, I have seen instances, and I've told you of my own family situation where the woman, perfect, 100%, we love her, die. But what happened? He still went to carry one okpeke that, if you see the girl self, you'll be like, how? To what now? And the girl doesn't even have manners. Wait, the girl don't even get manners. So you left a woman who is well mannered at home, who's been giving you peace. Now it's gonna carry one way. So no, explain that one to me. Look, let me tell you, the same way that men get like, she's not doing this, the same way women are like, my husband is not doing that. But rarely will you see women say, because my husband is not doing what I want him to do, They'll now go and carry somebody outside. But you see
Okay,
men, they will
I'm coming.
justify it amongst themselves.
I'm coming. See, listen. Anytime a man is trying to give you a perspective, try and avoid personalizing it and making it look as if the person is promoting it. We are just discussing on a surface level. Nobody's endorsing anything. Nobody is promoting anything. We're just trying to find a way to give explanations to certain outcomes. That's what we're trying to do. I don't do it, but I see it around me all the time. And I'm explaining what I've heard and what I've observed, right? Sometimes it's not about looks. All a man wants in this life, you see this life, respect and peace. Once a woman, whether you're fat, ugly, round, whatever it is you are, and you can provide that to the barest minimum for a guy, I am telling you, you're a goddess to that man. A goddess. Now, this is not to say that they are not lunatic sociopaths as men who move around, their heads are not correct. Again, they are the minority. Some men will always be animals, whether or not. I'm coming, let's get there. Some men are animals, born animals. So they don't fall into this definition. Okay? So they are not calculated in this explanation I'm giving you. But I'm saying an average man.
I'm just want to say Yoruba demons. There's a reason why they call them that. That's all.
Okay. I can't use the terminology because I'm not Yoruba, so it will become offensive if I say that. So, but this is what I'm trying to say. Men and women should always find way to get some sort of resolution. Because when this outcome comes, people start spewing all sorts of things. But you forget that there's a core problem. Do you know that I've stopped believing couples who fight? Like, when I ask this one tell me this one, I ask the other one. They usually lie to defend themselves. Nobody knows what is really going on. Both the man and the woman, it's the truth. They don't tell you the 100% truth. And like Dr. Collins said, the couples usually have secrets. Even when they are mad, they are not going to reveal the secret. That secret is a bargaining chip. It's like an insurance this between that man and woman. You will never hear the real truth of what's causing the quarrel, but they constantly quarrel. Day and night, quarrel. But you will never know because both of them know what's going on, but they will never tell you. Do you understand what I'm saying? But in general, this is my advice to both men and women. If you're a man and your wife is telling you, I don't want this, I don't like that, maybe physically or maybe during romance or love making intercourse, you should pay attention to the woman. Same thing. If the man is telling you as a woman that I don't care how you look, you can be like an elephant, I don't care. But please, when I come to the house, just make sure I have peace. I don't think, these modern times have made peace so expensive. It's like asking for peace in a relationship in this modern time. It's like asking for $1 billion. And women don't understand how simple men are.
Ron, I hear you, but how many times I move around with a couple of guys, so I hear how they talk. When Mr. Man will come with his wife, who is on a bit on the roly-poly side, it's his friends. The woman is giving him peace, so she's not disturbing his life. It's his friends will be like, see your rubber wife. Hey, this one. He will now start looking at her that even though she's giving him peace, she's now a rubber. So even though he said, babe, I don't care what you look like, but because his friends are teasing him, and you yourself, you said earlier, we all pander to peer pressure. We all give it to
different degrees.
We got
different degrees.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how old we are or whatever. And your friends start to say, horrible, and they start to compare your wife to a Gouda stout. Stop talking about my wife like that. They say in the first week she looks like Gouda stout. They say in the next week she looks like Heineken bottle. They're always comparing her to. Next thing you'll be like, baby, you see how she's sitting there with her back comfortably because the Google said you don't care how she looks. So she's sitting with her eba and her okra about to fap the thing. You now say, baby, isn't there eba plenty? It has started to enter. So whether that woman gives you peace, she gives you everything you need.
What?
You understand what? And it's the same thing with men, with women too.
Guess what? The guy that is being pressured by his friend and he still remains with the woman, There's a reason why he's still remaining with the woman that he hasn't left, right? Now, if the pressure becomes unbearable to the degree whereby he cannot have a decent conversation with his friend without them teasing his wife, he can as well create a situation whereby the wife will not be seen because he loves her. He doesn't want to leave her for any reason. There's a joy she's giving him that he does not want to neglect or he doesn't want to abandon that another woman cannot give him. Do you understand? So what tends to happen is that you see men, gentlemen, who go to parties alone. And you should know about this now. There are men who go to parties alone. They don't go with their wives for any reason.
So you're ashamed of me. Mama carry me go party. Thank you. But no, but because I've also seen instances where a guy that has no intention to go with a with a side chick or whatever, and his friends like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, man. And they will talk and talk and talk and talk, and next thing they'll take him to a party. They're drinking. Next thing, like, take this one shock body, and next thing he wakes up in the morning, he finds one girl. The girl is like, daddy, you were wonderful last night. So
No, let me even make the story. Let me make the story sweeter for you. Let me make the story sweeter for you. He doesn't need to drink to commit the offense, right? He will commit the offense. But here is the thing. Because it was not initiated from his inside, right? There's every tendency that it will fade off or he will agree. He's only submitting to peer pressure. He's submitting to his friends so that they don't ridicule him. His heart is not there. His mind is not there. There's every tendency that he's going to, when they are not there, he's with his loving wife enjoying his loving family.
Here is a shocking thought. How about just changing his bloody friends? I wonder how
Now,
that
here's
would
the
be
truth.
like.
Good. Now, here comes the bitter truth. The truth is that because the friends were already pressuring him, peer pressure, from the instant beginning, from ab initio, it's difficult for him to discard them because when he eventually discards them, it becomes public knowledge that this was the reason why he discarded them. And not all men are strong enough for that kind of clap back. You see, I'm one of the
No, I
few
just want
men.
to quickly say
Listen,
something. Do you know that women have no problems discarding their friends?
can
If
I
it
finish?
concerns their man, they
Can
have
I finish?
no
Can I finish?
problems.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Okay.
Do you know that for a man, right? I'm one of the few men. I have my friends. Mr. H knows me now. I'm hardly influenced. He knows me. My friends, as you are making friendship with me, you already know the kind of human being I am and what I stand for. You already know ab initio. So there's no the issue of trying to influence me does not. I'm more of the influencer self. You can't influence me, right? Now, the man that yes, no, you can't influence me easily now. You have to give me logical reasons to influence me.
You
Now,
are a
for that,
minority report. Continue.
yes, I'm in the minority spectrum. Now, for that man that is easily influenced, right, to discard his friend, my sister is rare that men discard friends. Very, they say it, but it's very. I'm telling you the bitter truth. It's rare, especially
No,
for a man who loves. I'm coming. Especially for a man who loves socializing, like hanging out to watch football, hanging out in clubs, hanging out in social any form of social activity. It is deep. They will lie and lie and lie. It's difficult. They hardly ever break up. Now, for a woman, let me answer the woman question. For a woman, and this is where women always get the calculations wrong. Aside from the fact that you won't be married, here's where the problem comes. You know you get your friends, right? And you want to continue hanging out with your friends, right? The smartest thing to do, if you really want to hold on to those friends, is to downplay the ness of those friends in the presence of your husband. Let me repeat. You know your friends, what's black American men call bitches, right? You know that's what they are, who they are for real. But you love them, you don't want to leave them. You want to hang out with them because they are people that you gel with easily. The wisest thing to do is that wherever your rubbish discussion or anything you discuss with them ends, let it end there. Don't bring it to the house. Don't even make an argument with your husband and make reference to any of those friends. Because that's where the argument is that, oh, you are keeping bad companies, they've got to go. And in this kind of debate, the man always wins. The man always
But
wins
that's
because
what I'm
you
telling
must.
you. Most of the time, it's not even the man who has to tell the woman, your friends have got to go. Most women, if they're with their friends and their friends are teasing them about their man and they really love that man, they'll just be like, you know what? You're all haters, man. I'm not dealing with you. Y'all can go, sack yourself. And
I
they
know
will actually break the please, the women who are listening, back me
mm,
up. They will actually say, how many women have actually said to their friends, I can't be friends with you anymore. And it's not even from the husband. It's because you're teasing my guy. Well, why do you think that a lot of
can
a lot of
I
married
say
women,
something?
a
Can I
lot
say
of women,
something?
when they get married, they suddenly stop communicating with their friends? It's not because their man said don't communicate with her. It's
Okay.
their own
Can I say
choice. I
something?
don't want my friend there. She likes wearing short skirts. I don't want her around my husband. That one, she likes wearing this one. I don't want her around my husband. They
Wait, let me
make it
answer
themselves.
you. Wait, let me answer you and you will say. Now, please, my friends watching, please, this is, don't use this to label me. Now, in the cases of women, their decisions or rationality in making such decision is usually based on the fact that they are protecting their own marriage. Not because the man told him. But again, they know that these friends are what American women call
Don't
bitches.
don't say it
Right?
again.
Okay. I'm just saying what American, I'm just telling you how bad they
I
are.
know.
I'm using the
Yeah.
word spectrum. Right. Now they know that these women are of a certain class. And you know they are your friends. You know their
Oh, they're your
capability.
friend. So she's in the same class now.
Now,
Abby?
but here's the difference with the man. The man's friends are not trying to sleep with you. You see the
Says
difference?
who? Do
You know,
you
as a
think that
man,
do you
hold
think
on,
that
hold
a man's friends will not sleep with his wife if they can get away with it?
hold on. Sorry. Hamza, correct me if I'm wrong. Mr. H, correct me if I'm wrong. Can I, as a man, come and meet you and see your wife or your babe? Maybe she's wearing lingerie or tight clothes and say, this is your babe hot. Or if she dey inside bed with me, don't be small. Can I do that?
You won't say it to her, but inside your mind, you think
No, I mean
say,
to the man. To the man.
babe,
No, no,
now
no,
You
no.
can say
mine,
that.
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry. I can't say that a man cannot say that to another man. A man cannot even suggest it implicitly
No,
or explicitly. Good. But women do it. Women
no.
do it.
Eh?
Eh? See,
You
fine,
look
but
for a
no
woman,
people.
and
This
then you
one,
tell me that my
I see
friend is hot.
women do it a lot. A lot. Ah,
Ah,
a woman will tell a wife, Koro Koro, now how did you get this guy? He's lucky, you're lucky, oh. You didn't even see somebody like women do it a lot.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
that aside,
I don't know about
remember
a
that
lot, but women sometimes make that kind of statements. But I
now
don't think
remember
men
that
should.
you went to university with these girls. You know them. You know what they are capable of doing. You know. It's not as if you don't know. You know. You're the only one who knows them. Your husband doesn't know them. You know. And that is why you have what in fact these days we're having girls who are saying that I rather have male company as friends than keeping female friends. And they don't want female friends at
But,
all because they don't want
but why is it
complications.
that the woman places the man in such a place of esteem that she's ready to throw away her friends? But then the man, like, oh, they're my friends, and even though they're teasing you, I'd rather keep you away from them. So when they invite us to a party, you will stay at home. I will go to the party, denying her the opportunity to have a social life because he is protecting her. Meanwhile, she's disposing of her friends for him to be. So I don't understand. What is the rationale? How does that make any sense?
The consequences and outcome for both people are different, right? They are totally different. They are not the same. I know that you want to say that men and women are the same. Men and women, yeah, we can have that debate when we're doing battle of the sexes. But the reality is this: the outcomes are not the same. You
I'm
are
not doing
being
battle of the sexes. really just tire me. Kayode at top says, men and women. So you, Judas, you not came now, Abi.
You see, we need to address this thing
That's
as
why
they
men and
come.
women are wired differently. Judas the carrots.
Wait, Abby, I want to ask you a question. Just theoretically, don't debate the reality of it. If you were to marry,
God Almighty. Don't like your
no,
theory. Go on.
theoretically, hold on. If you were to marry and you had this kind
Dr.
of
Kole,
friends,
please be on standby for this theory because I'm sure that you will talk
okay,
one thing. Oh yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, ask the question.
if you were to be married, let's say very shortly, and you have to protect your family, will you keep those kind of friends? You didn't discuss with your husband though. You just know who your friends are, those kind of friends. Will you keep them?
Whew. Well, because I'm older, I'm thinking theoretically. Because I'm older, and these are again, and they're talking about me, not generally. Me.
No, you.
Okay, so because I'm older and I don't have a lot of female friends, so I will not discard my film.
No, I said you've had this kind of, listen, the question again. You had this kind of bad company as female friends.
It doesn't matter whether it's bad company, good company. The thing is that I don't have a lot of friends. So if I have these friends and I'm married and I get married, I will do exactly what you said the man would do. I will keep them far apart from each other. In fact, you will be like, do you even see your friends again? I'll be like, my friends, which one? And meanwhile, I meet up with the girls, every week we go out to have a great time. But because I know that, okay, maybe some things that they're going to say, hey, Kayode knows I only have 4 friends. So, if the kind of things they're going to say is going to rub him the wrong way or make him be like, what kind of, but then he already knows the kind of friends I have anyways, then, I would just be like, always find a way for us to do something outside of him, But I would definitely not hide him away if I was invited to a party and be like, don't worry, babe, you stay at home. I'll go to this party. No, let us go together.
But remember that I said, Abby has only 4 friends. Me and my 40%, 50%.
I don't even know. I don't know whether it's Shongo I should call on you or Ganigwe. I don't know which one of the two I should call for you.
But here's the thing: you kicking off or erasing off that's part of your friendship, or separating or alienating them.
I won't erase them. I won't get rid of them. I will keep them separate.
Apart. But it gives you peace of mind, doesn't it? Right? It gives you peace of mind. It makes you.
Yeah, just so I don't get into unnecessary arguments about anything.
Good. Now, for the man, remember that the man still has to go and drink beer and watch the sports and go and do this. He still needs. He's not willing to go and create new friends again from scratch and keep his gang. A man wants to be among men and be a man. That is why men and women are not the same. I don't know how the way to.
I'm not getting rid of my friends. I'm not making new friends. I'm just keeping them separate. That's why I think in a way, and I'm not saying this in anything, in a way, sometimes I'm quite logical in the way that I think things through. If there is a situation where the friends that I've got are an issue to my relationship, I'm not going to throw away my friends because my friends have been with me longer than this guy has come into the picture. So I'm not throwing away my friends. I'm not making that mistake of isolating myself, because when we talk about abuse, sometimes you go, an abuser will isolate you from your family. But sometimes women actually isolate themselves from their friends and their families because they're trying to keep this relationship and keep this, and then they're the ones who isolate themselves and give the man access to do whatever he wants to do. And because I'm very aware of that, I'm not going to throw my friends away. I'm just going to make sure that the two worlds don't meet. And if they meet very briefly, like before you can say anything, everything has gone back to status quo again. But I'm definitely not going to throw away my friends. I'm not going to end my friendships because of my spouse. If they are saying so, and again, I at least thank again, I'm making it personal because you asked me a personal question. If I ever were to get married, irrespective, and I'll tell you what happened when my ex fiance, he was a white man, not hide it.
She's proven.
And there were a few of my friends who had things to say. You they carry Oyinbo, you they do, and I was like, none of your business. It's my life, it's not yours. Shut your mouth. When it comes to him, that discussion is not coming up. And once or twice they tried to bring it up, and I shut it down in a very, very emphatic way. They knew I was not joking. And that never came up as conversation again because they knew when it comes to him, don't mess. I didn't stop being friends with them. I'm still friends with a lot of them till now. However, when it came to him, it was a no-go area. So again, I'm not going to shut off my friends and say, oh, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. However, I'm going to make it very clear that, and I think that is where I have a problem with men, that when their friends are making fun of their partners, they are not very forceful in shutting it down and going, nope, that's my wife.
The
That's
percentage of men, the percentage of men who are weak in that department, and in fact, there are so many, is a very large percentage. The percentage of men who can say no is very wide, very, very large, very, very. In fact, it's so large that it's like normal.
okay.
Do you understand?
Well,
It's very.
okay,
That's why I said
let
I'm
me
not.
read the comments, and then I think we have flogged this one to death a bit. Okay, so okay, Martha said it's not elastic. She's actually talking about the vagina and all of that. Said it is literally elastic. Literally. Lol, wow. And then DW said a lot of people take care of themselves these days and look younger than their real ages. Not sure of the research done, but it might depend on the area and sample presented for that research, something that Dr. Colley was talking about. Also, a number of women now look younger than the men that they're even older than. Great care is now being applied by lots of ladies. And then Matharazi said, men and women age the same. Women used to look older, not because of pregnancy, but stress. Looking after 6 children and a man, and possibly siblings, while still farming or whatever.
So
So
we're the ones that don't get stressed.
okay. And then Judas the Carrot said, men and women are wired differently, Abby. And then he said, Abby has only 4 friends. Me and Monya are 50%. Thunder light you several ways. And he said there is a place for a spouse and a place for friends. These two are needed to be balanced in life. And he said anytime anyone tries to use one aspect to balance the rest is when there is unwholesomeness. Very, very correct. That's the thing. You can't say it's okay for your friends to be talking out of their backsides about your partner, but oh, I want to be a man and I want to be able to drink beer with my wife, so I will make sure that I hide my wife from my friends and let them talk the rubbish they want to. No, you can't do that. If you do that, then you're not really a man. You truly are not a man. You're a baby. You have no business being married.
Unfortunately, the higher percentage of people you just classified, the people you just classify are of the majority.
So
That's the
there
problem.
are too many babies getting married. Okay. So
That's the
I
problem.
want to say a massive thank you to Dr. Colley. Oh,
Hey, where's
I'm
Dr.
telling you,
Kole
thank you
now?
so much.
Where's your
Huh?
erudite professor? He needs to come and close this.
Well, I
Dr.
don't know.
Kole,
Maybe he might be. Oh, okay, hey, Dr.
he's
Colley, we
back.
are
He's back.
closing. Mr. H. Thank you
Let,
so
let,
much, Dr. Colley. Thank you so
let
much
him say
for.
something now. I need to
Ah,
take something from this
okay, oh,
episode.
no vex. So yeah, Dr. Colley, they
Please,
want you to say something.
just give me your final remarks. Okay.
I think somebody is in love with you.
Wait. Hold on. Abby, let me unmute it. Please unmute yourself, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Until next time when I come this way again. It's been a pleasure listening to the chit chat, and I think in the process, new things coming. The that big book of men trying to understand women. There's nothing in it,
Absolutely nothing.
and they've been struggling for a long time to understand each other.
And it went to #1 bestseller at one point.
Yes, I will want you to. The thing about the man and the woman is the day they meet is a beginning. The distance they go is always different. The pace in which they go is always different, right? They just keep on going at different paces. They develop psychologically, spiritually. They hardly. It is only those who have secrets that they are covering for each other that seem to, grow at the same time and keep up. It's a very difficult thing. If you meet those who lived alone, you would know that. I have always said it. Those that the gates of heaven will first be opened for. Abby, don't jump at me. Those that the gates of heaven will first be opened for are people who married and remained married while on earth. This is my own theory. It's not in any Bible.
No, single people who have stayed and have been living their best life, they're the ones that are going to go first because we have suffered.
Dr. Cole, please, I want to ask a question. The picture behind you, is it a painting or what picture is that?
Picture I took in Trinidad. Everybody asked me about that picture. And they're wondering why is a man in my office and not a woman. I went to Trinidad and Tobago.
Back naked.
And I was so close to the stage. If you look at this photo, you almost will feel the sweat on this dancer's body. And I took a series of the dancers. I usually go to Trinidad and Tobago. And I have an exhibition that is permanent on our campus here. This is one of the pictures there.
Oh, okay.
I just love the expression. You could always see all of his muscles and his face. If it's possible to, you can see it.
Yeah. You can see.
You can almost feel. I don't know whether you can. You see?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
It makes a lot of sense.
Expression.
It makes a lot of sense.
And it went on. I have so many, but not him. It was a fantastic dance drama.
Oh, okay. All right.
Me
Who is
like
Ashake?
it. I don't know who
Yes.
Ashake is, but they said
They
Ashake
said
wants to
Ashake wants to meet you, Doctor. Okay, contact Abby to.
Okay.
Hey,
Ashake.
Dr. Kali, don't forget that I'm coming to take you on a trip tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways, thank you everyone who has chimed in. Honestly, really, really appreciate you. Really, really thank you so much for taking out the time. Thank you to Dr. Kole. Thank you to Mr. H. Thank you to Judas the Carrot, Kayode, Atomatele, Matarazzi. Honestly, I love your comments. I love when. I've read all the comments out. Yes, Tunde DW, Agnes Ajayi, let me just go. Then Tuminino Silva. Then there's one other person. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you because you take out time. Then Dr. Seno also. Who else? Let me just make sure that I've
Did Dr.
gotten
Seno
everybody.
come? He didn't come.
Yeah, Dr. Seno just said hi everybody. He was just listening. But we were hoping that he would come because he is a gynecologist, but he didn't come on. And then of course to my DJ Wiki, the one and only Rev Ron Monnier. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. Really, really appreciate you. Until we do this again, same time next week. Take care and God bless. And of course, please, everybody, don't log out yet. Don't log out, Dr. Kole. Don't log out. We still do the after party. So, well, thank you, everyone. Take care and God bless.